They took some honey and plenty of money, wrapped up in a 5-pound note. The owl looked out to the stars above and sang to a small guitar. Oh, lovely pussy, oh pussy my love, what a beautiful pussy you are, you are, you are. What a beautiful pussy you are. Pussy said to the owl, you elegant fowl, how charmingly sweet you sing. Oh, let us be merry, too long we are tarry, but what shall we do for a ring? They sailed away for a year and a day to the land where the palm tree grows. And there in a wood a piggy-wig stood, with the ring at the end of his nose, his nose, his nose, with the ring at the end of his nose. So they took it away and were married next day by the turkey who lives on the hill. They dined on mince and slices of quince, which they ate with the runcible spoon, and hand in hand on the edge of the sand they danced by the light of the moon. They danced by the light of the moon.
G'day.
Hey everybody. Forgot to clear my throat before I started. That old chestnut. How are we all going? How are you, Z-Beam?
I'm pretty well, considering. Yeah, I got a gum infection on Saturday night, and it was pretty painful, but it moved from one tooth to the next tooth within the space of 6 hours, 12 hours. And yeah, then moved just to the edge of the gum, and I was like, I need antibiotics really badly. So tried to get a booking with the doctor. No doctors could see me, so I just went straight to the fucking hospital.
Yeah,
and yeah, you got to do it. And within half an hour, I was in getting looked at, getting checkup. They did a weigh-in, which was pretty interesting. And yeah, got the antibiotics within half an hour for free. That's what good healthcare does.
That's why we like it. It's all good.
Absolutely. And my weigh-in was quite an eye-opener because our scales must be just old and janky. But on their really high-tech body scales, I was 120 kilos.
And what did you think you were?
About 106.
Yeah, right. That's a little bit of a difference.
Yeah.
I had the same situation with my 1960s bathroom scales that I was using for quite a while.
Yeah.
Except it was the other way around. I thought I was like 105 or something. And when I got weighed at the doctor's surgery last time I got weighed, maybe 2 months ago, I was like 98 or something. So yeah, my scales are out quite a few kilos as well.
Yeah, right.
So I just don't rely on them anymore because I don't think they're easy to calibrate once they're that old.
No.
And yeah, I've got a stupid thing going on in my gum as well. I think it's stemming from here, but it's like the pain goes down here. So maybe I think that's where your thyroid gland is, isn't it? Somewhere in there.
Yeah. Thyroid's in the middle. It's one of these glands.
So I get a pain
That's
going
what I had too.
up to here, up above
Yeah,
my ear.
right.
But the state of my teeth, I probably have an infection or an abscess under a tooth as well, instead of a thyroid problem. Anyway, let's stop talking amongst ourselves for a second, address the viewing crowd.
Hello, everyone.
Huawei made it first today. I mean, I understand that it was a very, very late posting of my stream. It's been quite a hectic morning. But yeah, good on you, Huawei. As per usual, bucket of kudos in the post to you. James, close second, mate. Oh, actually, they could have almost tied it. Pardon me. It says the same time for both of them. I wonder how many seconds actually split them. BJ, how's it going? Oh, James has conceded the bucket for Huawei. What's going on over there? Of a creature that I can only see in silhouette. Oh, it's just a gecko. I think. Thought it was a mouse at first. It's such a big gecko. Where was I up to? BJ, how are you? Joel G, Kia Orange to you as well. Kia Orange. Yeah, autocorrect does some wonderful things, doesn't it? Paddy Shaddy, how are you? Welcome. Kat McKenzie, how the devil are you today? Punchy Paints, hi Pam, how's it going? Hope you're not too frozen. Sky Dancer, how's it going, Sky? Oh, Vibes Aquatics is here too. Hello, Vibes. And who else is here? Kiwi Mamu. Got the strong Kiwi contingent in today. All two of them. That's half the nation's population after the flooding.
Oh, savage.
Too soon?
Way too soon, bro. Oh.
We'll see. We'll see. Sunfish for fish says, cheers, you wankers. Well, cheers right back at you, you wanker. I like the term wanker. Doesn't get used enough around the planet, I feel. It's another beautifully affectionate term that can be used as an affectionate term, or it's not really that offensive anymore, is it? It's more affectionate and friendly, I reckon. Oh, don't be a wanker, you goose. Stuff like that. Soul Taker, how's it going? Soup King. Ooh, the king of soups has made it in. We'll have to get some insight into soup today. Hang on a tick. I have to do this thing. Otherwise, I'm not going to talk properly. That's better. Coro Works. I hope I said that right. New name. I'm not familiar with his name. Welcome, Coro Works. Allow us to take your have a beverage cherry. We'll pluck it just like that. And Soup King as well. You're fresh here too. Consider your cherry also plucked. Crikey. C23 back again, brother. Always good to see you in, Clarence. PNW Aqua, how's it going? Who have I missed? Who have I missed? GRB, hello there, mate. We'll have a weather report from the western side of the country from GRB shortly. I'm pretty sure glands have some fairly important functions, PNW, especially the stuff that they secrete. Sombra, my good old brother Sombra. Todd, lovely to visit the other night. Todd and his wife. Todd is Sombra, by the way. Wife, I don't think they're married. Mrs. No, that's still inappropriate. Partner, that'll do. The mother of his kids, shall we say, came and visited me on, what was it, Monday night. And we may or may not have tied one on a little bit too heavily, but it was still awesome to catch up and have a lovely, fun time drinking and smoking and talking and all that stuff. It's great to see you, Todd. And it's great to see you back in here too, dude. Fishy Mon, how's it going? Yeah, we'll try and avoid that. It always goes pear-shaped, doesn't it? But, you know, we'll see. Time will tell and all that. Candy, how's it going? Welcome to you. And if I yell out, Caleb might hear me. Arr! He's probably over that now. He probably doesn't want to hear me do silly pirate noises anymore. Now that he's a big, full-grown boy. Almost full-grown boy. So, yeah. What else? What else is going on? All this heat and humidity and stuff.
Yeah. It's shiny outside.
Yeah,
Early
well.
This morning it was raining, but now it's blazing.
Yeah. I had to go down to the supermarket to get some things before and got home and then realised I forgot to get my cigarettes. So I was already running later than I wanted to be. It never gets old, says Caleb. G'day, mate. How's it going? I was already running late. There was clouding over and about to rain. I had laundry on the line that I needed to get off the line, but I went back down to the supermarket, picked up my smokes. On the way back, you know, the roadworks on the bridge into town. Got a bit held up there both ways, of course. Coming back home the second time, there was an echidna trying to cross the road, so I pulled up my car and let it. Well, actually, when I stopped almost beside it, it turned around and went the other way. So I thought, oh, good, he's going off the road, so I'll keep going. And then all the cars behind me were stopping, so hopefully people who weren't running late for something got out and helped him off the road instead of getting run over.
Yep.
Those things can be devastating to car tyres, so if anyone runs over one of them, they deserve every puncture they get.
Absolutely.
Mad Martigan.
What's going on?
Sweating, warmth.
Sweating in the middle of summer. It was snowing today. What are you sweating for?
I wish. Love a dose of snow right now. And as you know, I had a message from Sarah this morning, which I can quite heartily agree with, that she appreciated that summer had turned up quite late for us, but it can already fuck off. Always.
True. It's just sweltering down there, huh?
Yeah, well, it's only, according to my weather, it's only 28 degrees, but it's, of course, always the humidity that takes it out of you.
And you've got the ambient heat of your roof.
Yeah. And I've got the clothes dryer running thanks to that little short burst of rain that made me whip everything off the line.
Oh.
Thankfully, half of it was dry.
That's
But
right.
yes,
You all don't insulate anything, do you?
Yeah, we got insulation, mostly just in roofs, though.
Yeah.
Indoors, yeah.
Yeah. To avoid the powerful sunbeams coming into the building.
This roof is just, you know,
that's just a tin roof.
One layer of tin straight to the sunshine, baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, not pleasant. Not pleasant.
It's only 82 there. That's not that hot.
No, like I said, it's not even 30 degrees, but it must be at least 94% humidity.
Right.
Yeah, it's the humidity that gets you because you can't
What is
evaporate.
What is that in metric?
28.
Sorry, I'm laughing at
Freedom
the
units.
94%. Right.
Ah, right, gotcha.
Oh,
How many is that out of in metric? What's the conversion?
it's the same.
It turns out
Is
to be
it?
an even
Is it 1 for
94.
1? You know what? I forgot to send you this. That I found a TikTok of a comedian doing he was doing a skit on, he's doing a bit on stage, right? And he's talking about, so was like English, I think. Maybe he was English, maybe he was Australian, I don't know. But he had the accent, right? I'm sure if I went back and listened to it again, I'd be like, oh, he's Australian, or oh no, he's actually British. But long story short, he was in the States and he was going like, oh my God. Like, he had a revelation that Fahrenheit is so much better than Celsius because it gives you a percentage.
Yeah.
It breaks down a percentage of how hot or cold it is, right? If it gets down to 0, my God, it's too cold. You can't go outside. If it's 90%, if it gets up to 90 and it's 90%, that's too hot. That's too much hot, right? Like, he's like, oh, 60? That's a good percentage. That's a solid percentage of temperature. That's cool. You can go outside. 75, that's good. If you get to 110, that's not good. That's more percentage than you can handle. Like, yeah. So
Yeah, he's an Australian comedian. I don't know him, but the post was labelled British comedian likes Fahrenheit or something like that, but he was in fact an Australian guy.
There's my confusion.
I believe I was talking about that on Punchy Paints stream on Saturday night your time as well.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah. Because yes, I found it was a good justification for Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Considering it does work in most of the operating scale where we dwell. It's completely different when you're talking about minuses or what do you call it, melting points of metals and flash points and whatnot, because that comes a little bit more confusing.
Yeah, exactly.
You want some more P&W? Okay, some more positive things about your system is that America is a parallel structure in global totalitarianism. So as a parallel structure, things are different and it works better for you. And it makes the rest of the world seem alien.
Yeah, it's true.
Keeps you in the good vibes when you're at home and makes you go, oh, what is this scary shit whenever you leave and go somewhere else.
And what was the Coro talking about weird units like 16 and 12, and a chain is 66 feet, nice round numbers. Always, a fathom is 6 feet, and there are so many interesting round numbers.
Like a hogshead?
Yeah, what's a hogshead? Isn't that a liquid measure?
It's a liquid measurement.
And what's it equate to? It's some other stupid non-round
some
number.
Weird, like 54 gallons, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Hogshead.
That's a big hog.
So a hogshead is 238.48 liters.
Why would you ever need that? Is that like a barrel?
It's a barrel. Yeah,
probably a standard size that barrels were being made to back in the day. So
it's 64 gallons. It's a barrel.
Yeah, a barrel of whiskey.
Yeah, nobody uses the hogshead measurement anymore, but it's still technically on the books here. You can use it.
That's good. I know what to order when I make $1 million.
A hogshead of a beer would make you ill.
Buffalo Trace, thank you very much.
Yeah, just send it on over.
Yeah, send it on over. Fly it to me, baby.
Yeah, just send it through, flying through the sky. Send it on over.
Yeah. Sky whiskey. Fuck yeah.
And it probably be the most efficient and affordable way for me to buy my whiskey in a full barrel at a time.
Absolutely.
It probably would be realistically. Just
And then
tap
you get
it,
all these
tap it with a spout.
legacy. You get all these legacy barrels too, rather than glass bottles that you recycle. You end up with barrels that you can sell for shitloads because you can only use them once in America, can't you?
No, it actually depends. It depends on what you're doing. So you can buy barrels around here pretty often. You like want to use them for your garden or whatever weird stuff you want to do with them. Make chairs out of them. So like, don't quote me on this, but there's all these different things you can use the barrel for in its life. Like they char the barrel, and then I think you can do whiskey in it like twice or something like that, 2 or 3 times or something goofy, and then they recycle it to the wine, and then they'll do wine in it like however many times you do wine. I know it's not one, but they do it however many times you can do wine, and then after that they're like, yeah, nope, like can't use it anymore. So every place has their own specific thing that they're doing with the barrels. I do have like a really cool chair that I bought that's made out of old whiskey barrels I bought in Kentucky. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know they get reused. I just didn't think from my reading that for whiskey you could use it more than once. For the whiskey, that's why there's such a big trade in American oak barrels, even to Europe and Australia. Even we're buying them up, for our winemaking because you guys.
As far as so it's like, as far as I know, like whatever specific brands have like a specific what they're doing with it, right?
Yeah.
And so, if you're talking about like Jack Daniels or whatever, their production is so huge, it's massive, right? And if they're like, if they decide, well, we only use it X amount of times, then they just have these barrels that they got to do something with, right? Like, because you can't you don't want to just throw them away because they'll give you money for them. So it ends up being a commodity like after the fact, but there's like no other way to make the whiskey, they don't have another process. They don't have a different way of doing it.
Yeah, some of your different bourbons have certain requirements. You're supposed to do certain things to the barrel.
Yeah.
I know Coro says about the charred ones, but certain types I think only do it if it's been used for this as well. Like some port, I think there's a particular bourbon that only uses a barrel that's been used to make port in, or not make it, store it, age it, whatever it is. So yeah, different rules for everything.
Yeah,
I think you've got to follow the rules to be able to call it a Kentucky bourbon or this kind of bourbon or this kind of whiskey, etc., etc.
Yeah, there's a lot of very specific things that you have to do if you're, if you're laying claim to the product that you're putting out there. You have to do all these specific steps.
Yeah.
Cora's right. I've also read that the Scottish will pilfer or buy old Jack Daniels barrels to then put their whiskey in, and then they go, "Our whiskey's better than American whiskey."
I don't know. Everybody says whatever they're doing is the best, right? It's all just that's all just marketing, right?
Yeah. It's all subjective by the time it reaches your lips.
The corporations are international. The corporate influence on everything is international.
Yeah.
It's weird how it works its way into day-to-day life, though. I've been noticing it lately again, and I'm like, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome that we're structuring our lives around everything like that. But, yep. It's interesting because a lot of the economics, I've been listening to a bunch of like economics professors, like speaking engagements and stuff over the last week. I don't know. And it's kind of interesting. Like the current projections for China are a lot worse than they were even like 5 years ago with a lot of the data that's coming in
With regard to what?
over the last 5 years, like even to the point where like if China like overcounted their population by like 100 million people.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and things like that, and they're realizing at this point like they're aging out. Like all of their workers are aging out, and they don't have replacement. And
Is that probably a after effect of that single child policy?
yeah, but it also has a lot to do with how our societies are structured, right? That like the young workers are the ones that are paying in to take care of the old, and things like that, and so part of like modernization is that as you modernize and like, so I guess move up the ladder in like world status or whatever you want to call it, however you reference it, basically like people that live in countries with a higher standard of living have less children, right? Because, and there are a multitude of reasons, but like one of them is like your expectation is that your kids are going to survive, right? So you're like, well, if I've got 3 already, they ain't going nowhere. Like they're going to be here for the next however long, right? And then also at the same time, like in the modern world, your output for your children is much higher, right? So people have like the economic side of, well, should we have more? Can we actually afford more of these? Can we afford more? like it costs a lot. Costs a lot to have these around. Should we get more? I don't know. I think we're good. Like I think we're good because these ones are already here doing stuff, and that seems like enough, right? And so as China has been doing that over the last 40 years, and especially with like the one child policy also on top of that, that like they're seeing the effect of this, the young age bracket is just disappearing essentially, right? Like there just aren't any people, there aren't that many young people anymore, and there's this, it's all top heavy with all these older people that are especially like retiring, right? Like they just like can't expect them to work 80 hours a week or whatever anymore, right? And so
a lot of the younger people are not necessarily spending their lives working on the family property or whatever. They're moving into the towns and getting educated and whatnot. And
yeah, I mean that's part of it, but like you don't necessarily look at it in terms of like kids moving away and like moving to the city or whatever, because those, so from like an economic standpoint, that really doesn't matter, right? Because their output into the economy is either the same or better, right? So like from an economic standpoint, it's like, well, who cares if they're a farmer or if they're like a computer programmer, right? You just look at the numbers of like, well, they're putting this much into the economy. This is what they're producing. This is what they're doing, right? Like you can always find more ways to farm food, right? Like if you have the land and availability and all that kind of crap, right? Like, so from an economic standpoint, like that doesn't really matter because they're going to output into the economy and they're going to be able to help the older generation, like go through their later years in life, right? And then that's not really a concern, like how they're inputting into the economy. Those guys, the economist guys, they don't care about that stuff, right? They're like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Like they just have to be doing something. Like they just have to be inputting into the economy. Like that's it. So yeah, like one of the guys was actually talking about that big agriculture side of things, right? And he was like, well, China's like about as big as the US, right? Like altogether, like minus Alaska. you know, and they're going like, well, here's what their agricultural layout looks like and all that kind of stuff. But once you start to like add in machines, right? It's not, you don't need that many people to actually work a farm. Like we have so much automation now compared to in the past that like you don't need, you know, 1,000 people running around out there. You could have 50 people out there running around, and then you got these 950 other people that are going to do other things, you know, make shoes and work in restaurants and do computer programming and do all that, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like you have them to go do all these other things that you need to get done. So, but I don't know. I just thought it was really interesting to see like the projections of, you know, what these kind of like big time economists are looking at and like, and going like, there seems to be kind of a dark horizon for some countries and then not so bad for other countries. Right. It's just a matter of like what they're going to do. And a lot of it had to do with around the pandemic. So the pandemic like exposed all of these faults like glaringly. Right. And you know, it was like one of the things they were talking about the US is that like, well, all of the supply chain stuff was like catastrophic, but it was only like catastrophic for 6, 8, between 6, 9, and 12 months, depending on whatever it was. And then, you know, like these companies and stuff started switching like how they were going about like filling stuff and like where things were being produced and that kind of stuff. Because the reality was like, well, if we can't get anything from China, it's like, well, hey, Mexico, what are you guys doing? Do you guys make this thing? You know? And they're like, well, we sort of make that thing. It's like, well, here's some money. How about you make that thing, but like this, you know?
Yeah.
And so a lot of that started happening, and they started to realize that like, well, you know, the supply chain stuff like exposed a lot of faults, but it also like exposed the fact of how sort of adept the countries were able to shift and just kind of like figure it out basically. And in doing that, it showed sort of like the, you know, the past projections of China's economy were like, it was just going to go to the moon, you know, and they started to realize that like, oh, it can't go to the moon because they don't have replacement workers, right? Like they don't have the humans to keep that going.
And the culture's a bit of a hurdle to integrate with, unlike America where it's a melting pot. Australia, it's a melting pot.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's melting pot countries. Like America's pretty vibrant. You guys got a lot of young people getting married, having kids. You know, the cycle continues as a
right.
human.
Well, we have a lot of that. But we also have a lot of, guess what? Immigration, right? Like we have a lot of people coming in that are having kids and becoming Americans, right? And you're like, well, hell yeah, look at that. You know, like we don't need to try and force people to have 10 children when you could, hey, everybody just have 1 or 2. That's fine. Because we got 1 or 2 from over here. We got 1 or 2 from over there. Look, we're just going to make it up. Like, there we go. It'll be all good. And they were they were talking about Australia. Australia came up, and that's kind of why I was like, oh, I wanted to talk to you guys about this because I don't know if you guys hear about it at all. But they were saying that Australia was in a good spot because you guys actually have the ability to like immigrate more people. And that like the likelihood of like Australia would be like, well, you know, the powers that be or whoever makes the decision are like, they kind of sit back and go like, maybe we need to bump these immigration numbers up a little bit. Because if you think about it, if you're trying to encourage people to just have more kids, you got to wait 20 years before you see the result of like whether it works or not. But you could, you know, you could conceivably go like, well, let's let in 100,000 more 20-year-olds from over there. You know, and it's like, hey, look, we got all the 20-year-olds. They're here now. Okay, hey, let's get going. You know, so I thought that was kind of interesting because they were they did England's, and England was like, Oh, that's rough. That is that. Oh man, the UK was like. I think that one of the estimates was they needed a replacement of like 9 million people or something, and so and there's just no way it's going to happen, especially with Brexit and all that. That they're like, where are they going to find these people? Like, where are they going to find those replacement workers? So like the US being like, I don't know how many times bigger than the UK, like 5 times bigger than the UK. Like our expected replacement was like about 4 million, right? And you're going like, that's it? Like you can, that's not a lot of people compared to 350 million. That's not like a huge shortage, right? You're like, okay, well, we could probably do that in a year pretty easy, I think. You know what I mean? Like, but you go to the UK, it's like, whoa, you need more than double that number. And it's a tiny island full of
People
already. You know, you're like, okay, well, good luck with that.
And have you seen much of the Scottish Highlands? It's just this barren grasscape with rocks and grass, and that's it.
Well, it's one of the big downsides is they have to import so much stuff, right?
They can't function without the capitalist machine running for them, and with their monetary advantage over everyone else. It's basically a not to be rude, but it is a form of economic slavery that they put everyone else into to keep supplying with material for coin that has a vastly falsely inflated ego about itself. The pound is just stupid,
right?
And they're ripping everyone else off.
Here, I assume the Scottish Highland was all buttholes.
So butthole.
Just 100%.
There's a movie called Get Duked that's quite hilarious about a group of 4 high school dropouts who get picked to go on the Duke of Edinburgh excursion where they've got to travel from one point to another point. Very hilarious movie. I won't do any other spoilers, but
that movie was great. I thought it was fantastic. It was hilarious, hilarious and unexpected.
Get Duked, eh? I've not seen it.
It's pretty good.
Check it out.
Is it Scottish kids, did you say?
Yep. Yeah. Lots of on the nose drug humor.
Oh, hey, wait a minute. Did we do all the YouTube stuff? Hey guys, hit the like button and subscribe. Yeah, we got to do that, right? Oh, Replay Team 6, where you at? Oh my God.
We're going to restart the stream.
What's that?
No, you just got it all covered in 10 seconds. Perfect. Yeah. Done.
There we go.
Except for Replay Team 6. Yeah, Replay Team 6.
Frequently. Become a Replay Team 6 member. Wear a badge around town. People will know. People will respect your authority. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. They will. Trust me. They'll salute, probably. They'll drop trow and salute.
I might have made AAA captain of Replay Team 6 too soon. He's not even here today. Maybe he's maybe he works or some nonsense in the daytime.
That's ridiculous. It's nighttime right now.
Madness.
It's nighttime right meow.
Right now.
Right meow. So what's new other than it's hot and the laundry is loose?
What's new? I've got a person working for me to get a grant for my game development off and rolling. Yeah. So she's doing a video meeting today with a liaison with the grants department, and I might be getting myself some funding.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That'd be good to get that rolling forwards.
Fuck yeah. It's been years of effort at it. Joel G had a flood. You're in New Zealand, did you?
I'm fairly certain Kiwi Mamo was quite a distance from it because I think she's on the other island.
Yeah. How does an
Joel
island
G.
flood? How's that possible? That makes no sense.
Back in a minute.
Doesn't the water just run off the sides? Like,
there's mountains and stuff at the edge to keep it in.
oh, damn it. Design flaw.
It just doesn't go down like a triangle, unfortunately.
Total design flaw. Man, I'm telling you.
How did you go through it, Joel G? Were you close to the major impact zone? Were you safe? Did you lose anything? Clearly, you didn't lose your computer or your telephone because you're here.
See, Kiwi Mamo made a smart move. They're at the bottom of the South Island.
The chilly bit.
Is it cold there?
Well, it's south, and New Zealand's already considerably south.
Yeah, south from where I live is warm.
Yeah.
Towards the equator.
It's a polarizing opinion.
The equator's very far away. I went to it. It took a long time to get there.
It's probably a similar distance away from me.
Yeah, I was looking up Australia flights, and I think it's like 21 hours from here. I think 20, maybe 22. I don't know. It's a long flight. That's a lot of hours of traveling at 600 miles an hour or whatever.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. I'm glad someone noticed it. It was a very, very awesome comedy joke that got missed by almost everyone.
What's that?
My polarizing joke.
Oh, well, yeah. Do you have concerns about the magnetic field shifting?
No.
No.
Should I? Should I be worried?
Probably not.
Is it going to affect my sense of direction?
I think it'll affect our sense of being alive, but that's just, if that happens. I think if that happens, there's really no concern because we're not going to be around to be worried about it. I suppose somebody must survive, though, right?
What happens when it happens?
The
polarity of the planet switches.
Yeah.
Does that mean that the planet automatically spins upside down for some reason?
I'm not sure. It seems to be. It's supposed to do some things like that, akin to that, and that doesn't sound very healthy. Doesn't sound healthy to me. The strong would survive.
Joel was in the worst part of town, but his house was okay. Had to take evasive action in my car so it did not drown. Yes, familiar. It was actually, what is it? Not quite a year ago to the day when our big flood happened. And my son's had a bunch of cars go under the water, but all of those cars are all back on the road and functioning perfectly. Mostly. There you go. Coro says the whole Earth gets irradiated because the magnetic field doesn't block the solar wind, etc. The solar wind would strip the atmosphere off the planet just like Mars. Interesting. So yeah,
like fun.
If it happens, there's probably not going to be many scientists left to study it, except for the ones that are buried deep under the ground.
Yeah, those guys in the bunker. Yeah, what about the guys in the bunker?
All those wealthy people will be able to continue breeding and continue their line of blue bloods.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing the future dentistry necessary to maintain that.
Manly P. Hall said, if the wind fails, everything fails. And we have very little grasp on the true nature of how wind works. It's still very mysterious. But there's a lot of theories as to the small magnetic waves and gravitic waves that create wind. And it's alive. It's beautiful. But imagine being stuck in a bunker for a lifetime, if not generations. You're not going to get the fresh air. That's not healthy. But I feel for them because, like, say in Australia, we've got Pine Gap. That's been going, I think, since the 60s, possibly earlier.
Probably earlier, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and they've got a deep underground base there, and you got to imagine that in a base with women and men, they're going to get up to shenanigans. And what happens to the children that are born into the military-industrial complex? If there are any of these children who are bunker born, and what happens to them? Where are they today? Are they on
they'll be
YouTube?
fine. They won't know any
They'll be-
better. Actually, have you ever seen? Oh, not Event Horizon. What's the other? Oh, what is the one with It's the one with Dennis Quaid.
Inner Space.
Space movie. Can't remember the name of it. Pandorum. Did you see Pandorum?
No.
Pandora.
Yeah. You should go back. You should go watch that. It's a 2009 movie, and it's about a spaceship that's like, Earth. You know the story. Earth's dying, so they got to put a bunch of people on a spaceship and send them out into space, right?
Yeah.
And then yada yada yada, a bunch of stuff happens.
Oh, that movie was horrible. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Oh,
They evolved on the ship.
it was a good movie, but it was, just gross vibes.
There's a lot of gross stuff in it, yeah. But
Yeah.
also, like, probably not that far off from like the mole people living in a bunker down there, probably going a little crazy or a lot crazy.
Those bunker people. Seriously, there's stories about ancient Indians living in bunkers after the great war that they had, and there's potentially underground cities on the planet that have been going on for a long time, but we don't know. We're not allowed to know. It's all below board, as we would say.
Oh, we're not allowed to know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all secrets.
Keeping
all
them
secret.
stashed.
Yeah. Bunker people with high technology from the old times.
The bunker people.
It'd be interesting to know about them, but they won't tell us. Then everyone would want to be a bunker person.
We'd want all of their secrets, and that's not going to happen. No. I've even read some stories where people were theorizing that the nuclear tests domestically, like say for America and Australia, were both not just tests, but they were actually done to fuck up bunker cultures.
Interesting.
Chew on that fat.
Chew on that, huh?
Oh yeah, can we have fish tanks in our bunker?
Oh, fucking oath, aquaponics all the way.
Well, you'd have to. You'd have to have
Yeah.
something going on.
Absolutely. Aquaponics is the future. Get onto it.
It is.
Awesome.
I'm working on mine. Trust me, I'm working on it, but you know how it is.
With the cold, it must be hard.
Well, I've been building out the fish room. I posted a video last week about the update on what's going on. I got another video I'm working on, but I can't edit it while I'm talking to you guys.
Okay.
So it'll probably be out Thursday or Friday, I think, something like that. The framing, dude. The framing, bro. Right now, I'm
These ones.
pricing out insulation because, it'd be cold here.
So what else is news on Foxtel this week? They decided to, because they lost Simpsons to Disney, old Uncle Rupert Murdoch has decided he's going to let us have WWE for free and put on the Royal Rumble on Sunday for free. That was hilarious. I've never seen that shit before. But go American Pro Wrestling. Fucking entertaining as hell. It's ridiculous, but seriously, so much fun. I love the culture.
Yeah, it's pretty popular, and I think a lot of the fans of it now accept that it's just a big show and stuff, and they're not that old thing of having massive arguments about it. It is so real. It is real. You don't see them happen so much anymore because I think
no, it's entertainment.
Most people's eyes have had the wool removed.
Yeah, and so Raw just had its 30th anniversary last Monday.
All right.
So it's been on the air for 30 years, and it's the longest running TV show ever.
You sure? TV show or sports TV show or sports entertainment TV show?
Yeah, they're making big claims. You're probably right, Blacky. But they're going off, man. It was just like a cavalcade of old dudes. Like, I got to see Hulk Hogan the other day. I was like, yes, I remember this guy. He's still pulling out all the moves and the hilariousness and the voices.
I thought he was in trouble at the moment. Isn't he in trouble for some nonsense?
Terry.
Hulk Hogan, yeah.
Yeah.
The sex tape got released, and there was some other stuff as well, I thought. Anyway,
right.
I'm not up to scratch on the wrestling news.
I don't look at negs usually.
G'day, George. And what else?
I ended up watching Andor. That was awesome.
Yandor.
Andor.
Oh, Andor, right, of course. Yeah, that's a good show.
Yeah. I'm glad I revisited it because it got really good.
Yeah, it was very it was good, a good change in direction from storytelling, I thought, a slightly different vibe to it than just space battles and stuff.
Yeah.
It was more grittier and getting to know and stuff, and yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
Nice one. Cody Donovan has a portrait of John Cena.
Can you see it?
Huh?
I can't see it.
I think he just means on his bedroom wall or something.
No, it's a dumb thing, man. He says that you can't see me. It's just stupid.
Oh, does he? Yeah, right. Huawei did say, Cody, I'm surprised you can see the portrait.
Yeah.
Now that makes sense. Also.
Joke, man. Yeah.
So did you watch Peacemaker with John Cena as the Peacemaker?
Hilarious.
It's such a good show.
It's so good. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. It's an absolute unit.
I would be awfully surprised if Cody hasn't seen that as well, unless that's what's tattooed on his chest. Oh, John Cena might be the portrait he's got tattooed to his chest, not just a portrait hanging on his wall.
Next minute, Tanks in Ukraine covered in pictures of John Cena. That's a stealth tank.
Gold. Yeah, that sounds about right, BJ. Mandalorian coming back around March 1st. I don't
fuck
remember
yeah.
the actual dates, but that sounds about accurate. Bad Batch Season 2, new episode out in a couple of hours.
Yeah. Bad Batch Season 2's coming out, yeah.
It's already out. We're up to episode 6 today.
Really? Oh, I haven't even
Yeah.
started watching them yet.
I missed the last 2 weeks, so late last week I got to watch 2 episodes on the trot.
Not bad.
Oh, such silence.
How is it so far?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's very Bad Batchy and lots of wild circumstances that they have to escape and seemingly impossible escape circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of what you get in that level of Star Warsy show.
That's what you
still
get.
Really good, really enjoyable. It's quite good. And then we've got looking at Ahsoka, I think, is release date late next year. And
that far out, huh?
Yeah, or late this year, I should say. Did I say
late
next
this
year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that we're in a new year now.
We are apparently in a new year. I mean, I heard people saying that.
Well, it's already bloody 1 month down. 1st of February today, is it not? Yes, it is. Wild. Goes so fast when you're old. But yeah, the Ahsoka show is going to have some Thrawn in it and some Ezra Bridger, so it's going to be a pretty interesting storyline.
Fuck yeah.
Obi-Wan Season 2, fingers crossed, goes into his trials and tribulations throughout Tatooine and stuff. That'll be pretty cool. Hayden Christensen's back for the Ahsoka series as well, so there's obviously going to be a bit more Vader in the Ahsoka series.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of good stuff to come. Do you know this guy called the Dude?
The Dude.
The Dude.
D-triple-O. He's like this guitar player guy who plays requests for people on Omegle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But even if he doesn't know the song, he listens to it for a little while. And he's just got this magic brain that can just learn songs instantly. It's pretty impressive stuff.
Cool, man. You got to hit us up with these links before the stream. So we've got some prioritized watching.
It's true.
Otherwise I don't have material.
Yeah, I always seem to forget about stuff until I'm thinking about things to talk about. And I go, what have I been watching on YouTube? But yeah, there's some really wholesome, fun moments in it. Because it's like he does a lot of his videos using Omegle, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but it's like the old chat roulette, where you basically just keep scanning through people. So there's obviously a lot of penises and a lot of masturbating and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people who just skip and skip and skip. But yeah, he stumbles across a lot of people who are totally blown away and impressed by the songs that he makes for them.
Yeah.
Very impressive player too. Very impressive. He does some gaming videos with a bunch of other dudes as well. And they're just super funny, crazy lunatics doing gaming videos when they're doing them together. G'day, Stephen P. Double M triple I. How goes it, bro? Oh, there's my thing again. fishy dad jokes. Don't burn them here, George. Save them for your fishy dad joke stream. Oh, unless you're asking if we've got any, in which case the answer is no. I don't have any.
Did I tell you about my tribe last week?
Your what?
My tribe of fish, what happened?
Yes, you said you had a nasty situation.
Yep.
Lost, what did you lose? You lost a couple of your elders.
Yeah, 2 female floaters and then 2 males. Once I pulled the plants out, they couldn't hack it anymore and they jumped out and committed suicide.
Poo.
Yeah.
So how many did you get left with?
I can't count them. There's too many.
Oh, well, that's all right then. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Sounds like, I mean, not the nicest thing to say, but you could afford to lose a couple, even though you probably lost your biggest matriarchal breeders.
Oh, it's just the circle of life, isn't it? We've got to make room.
Well, if you get too many and you need to house them elsewhere, I've got plenty of spaces now to house swordtails.
Cool, man.
Actually, I probably wouldn't put swordtails in the prawn tank because the prawn may, successfully grab a swordtail, but the other 3 tanks that are running can certainly house swordtails.
Cool.
I'd certainly prefer swordtails in there than gambusia.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
You got gambusia in a tank.
Yeah, just because I caught them down at the creek and I needed mosquito-eating fish.
They're brutal.
They are. They're quite. Even they're all of the gambusia are quite vicious towards the gudgeons, but the gudgeons are a little bit finer and smaller fish at the moment, apart from one. So, yeah, I will probably eventually move all of the gambusia into the prawn tank so they can become exercise for the prawns to chase after all day long. And then get some decent, colourful ones in the big tank behind me.
Do we call them yabbies? Yeah, we call them yabbies.
What?
Yabbies, crayfish, or crawdads. Coro's saying.
Ah, right. Yeah, yabbies and crayfish. Well, yabbies are more the yeah, I suppose they are. Well, we call the saltwater ones that you pump in the sand for yabbies as well, but I've just always called them crayfish. Then you get lunatics that call them freshwater lobsters. That's just too many words, too many syllables.
Why have I got a tooth pulled? Oh man, I feel ya. That's rough.
The only times I've had, well, I guess the times that people have teeth pulled out are because it's necessary to have them pulled out due to pain and stuff. And I've always found having them out quite a pleasurable experience because the pain levels are so much lower once it's gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, that first day when you've still got the anesthetic in your face and you're chewing on the inside of your cheek and biting chunks of your own inside cheek off and not noticing it because you're anesthetized still. Yeah, that's not fun.
Replay Team 6 in the house.
The lack of pain the following day is fabulous, or the different pain. Yeah, replay Team 6. What are we? Just over an hour in, and you're still here? Well done. You are a lunatic. Ugh. What do you call a factory that makes okay products? A satisfactory.
Hardy ha ha ha.
Yeah, I never believed that. Is it that a dry socket? See, I was told that you're not supposed to smoke after you have a tooth pulled or a filling put in because of the suction that you're doing on your mouth.
Uh-huh.
I suppose that is what you mean by a dry socket, isn't it? Because you're sucking off that clot plug.
Sucking off the clot plug. That's a sample.
That's a good
Yeah.
name for a band or a
You
song.
don't want to. Trust me, you don't want to give yourself dry socket. It's not good.
No.
What does it mean? You just end up with a gaping hole in your mouth instead of a nice healing pad of clot.
Pretty much, yeah. It's not a good scene. You don't want that dry socket. It's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
And
cats.
big hole in your gum.
Cat's exactly saying what I would do when they say don't smoke for 24 hours after having a tooth pulled out, and I would ask why, and they say because you make too much suction. So I would just do little tiny puffs and not suck very hard.
That's right. Rollies are the go, and no filter. Just kiss the cigarette, and leave a bit of your mouth open on the side, rather than having full closed mouth over the cigarette. Yeah, the art of sucking a cigarette. Filthy things. Hell to the vape. No more stinkies for me. Except on special occasions. And I'll bust out a cigar.
That's a good idea too, Cody. Just smoke the ciggy up the nose.
Oh.
Just right up the nose.
It's so sensible. How come dentists don't advise that instead? Probably because they don't want the cease and desist letters from the ENTs.
9 out of 10 dentists approve nasal inhalation of cigarettes. Oh, no.
I'm just going to mute my microphone for a sec. I've had a rather long message left on my phone from an unknown number, so I should try and find out who it is and what it's about.
Who is it?
Who is it? Tell us.
Well, it's a Sydney number, but I don't think it's from Sydney. I have a strange feeling it's the mob that manages mum and dad's aged care funding.
Okay, go for it, man.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back.
All right. Well, can we trust him?
We can trust him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you think we can, then all right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the first insulation bid I got is too expensive.
Really?
Yeah, they want $2,200 labor and materials.
Right.
That's too much. That's too much, guy. That's too much. So, moving on. We'll get another bid.
Okay.
That's too expensive, man.
Have you had the pleasure of seeing the new Nicolas Cage movie?
No, I don't think so.
The
What's it
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
No, I haven't seen that yet. Is it good?
Fucking excellent.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. It's
He's always
like
doing
it's
something
like,
weird.
It's like the movie Inception was done, but in a style-y way rather than being, and it's not science fiction at all. It's just pure layers of head fuckery.
Yeah.
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. And yeah, it's just all kinds of things good. Like, I was so satisfied after watching that. It's like, damn, this is a proper fucking movie. Thank you, Hollywood. You've done a lot of service. And it's good to see Mando doing a different role.
Well, yeah, he's in The Last of Us now. Also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good too.
I haven't seen it yet because I don't have the HBO Max right now.
I never played the game, but I heard the show was getting toileted a fair bit from people that played the game. So I'm kind of hoping it'll be a Wheel of Time type situation where I don't have experience with the source material, so I still might enjoy it.
Oh, you will. I haven't played the game, and I'm watching it, and I'm going, damn, this is some fine fucking way better zombie stories than sorry, than the last of it. I mean, Walking Dead. Yeah, Last of Us is the goods.
I have to pen an email right quick in response to my phone call before it gets too late. So,
No worries, man.
I'm still listening, but I might not be talking as much.
But yeah, the unbearable weight of massive talent. Great story. Really well done. Lots of mind games. Yeah, heavy on the seat of your pants, psychological, grasping, understanding factor. It was really good. It was really good. So insulation.
Yeah.
Last week we had Pam talk about how they were going to trying to frack Yellowstone. I've been dwelling on that since the last stream and thought, why the fuck haven't you guys put a geothermal plant around Yellowstone?
It's a national park.
I know. I get conservatism and I get the whole idea of maintaining nature, but surely there's got to be some way of utilizing that heat bleed to get some energy.
Yeah, but it's a national park, so
not going to happen.
Well, it better not.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
You know, it's pretty unique. Like, I think Australia has some similar stuff, but you guys also have just like a lot of land that's just kind of there, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, that goes 500 miles that way. It's like, what does it do? It's flat and has tumbleweeds on it, and it's really hot. You know,
Yeah.
They're like, oh, so what do you do if you go out there? Like, bring extra gas so you can drive back. But you know what I mean? Like, you know, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And you know, so it's pretty easy to conserve that, right? Because like, there's not going to be a lot of people out there effing around that much, right? Like, I mean, if they are, they're recreating, or it's sort of like a known commodity, right? Like maybe there's some mineral out there that somebody goes and digs up, and then they put the dirt back after they find it, or whatever. I'm trying to relate to the Australian side of it, but so in the U.S., like it's very difficult to go anywhere in the U.S. that isn't already being exploited somehow, right?
Yeah.
And our national park system is huge here, right?
Yeah.
And the reason for that is that if there isn't a national park system, that stuff will all get 100% exploited by nonstop commercial interaction, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I actually spoke about this. I think I talked to you guys about this before when Ronald Reagan flew to Washington State in Air Force One because Mount St. Helens blew up, right? One of the mountains here exploded. Gigantic explosion. Volcanic ash landed all the way in Australia, right? Huge.
Yeah.
1980, Ronald Reagan flew here to do I'm the president. Don't worry, we're going to help, right? As he was flying over it, he was exasperated by the devastation that he was seeing out the window. And they had to break the news to him that like we're not there yet. This is just all logging, right?
Right.
And so the thing is that we know the history of what humans will do, right? Like, there's just no question. There's just no question what humans will do. So if you allow that inch, they'll take a mile, they'll take 10 miles. The next thing you know, we have the Oklahoma Dust Bowl again, right? And you got to think, like, when the national parks were being established was a lot of it had to do with the Oklahoma Dust Bowl. So like 2 states here essentially farmed the states out of existence to the point where you couldn't grow any crops anymore, right? And that was like known, you know, and there were rivers that were just full of feces and garbage, just overflowing with feces and garbage. Like, that was known. Like, this is what happens. Nowadays, it's very easy to look and go like, well, it'll be fine because of all of the conservation efforts that have been done, like taking lead out of gasoline, right? Like, there was so much pushback to take lead out of gasoline for decades, right? Eventually did that, and now the air quality is so much better than it was, like, by insane magnitudes. When they were burning gas with lead in it in cars, LA, Los Angeles had as many overcast days as Seattle did, if not more, but from smog.
That's gross.
Right. So, you know, conservation is incredibly important, not only for the reasons of like maintaining the habitat, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff, but the reality of the exploitation is way worse than I think anybody living in this day and age really knows. Like, I don't think we as a people in the 21st century can really grasp just how devastating it can be when it's just relentless, nonstop, completely unregulated chaos of, you know, just go, 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 go. You know, and I've shared it quite a few times, but like the giant mounds of buffalo skulls, they killed all of the buffalo.
It's terrible.
Right. And one of the big reasons they killed all of the buffalo was to starve out Native Americans. Right. And, you know, it's like, and the reason that those mountains of buffalo skulls were collected and piled up into big piles is that they figured out you could grind up the buffalo skulls and use them as fertilizer, as an amendment to soil, because the soil was being farmed so poorly. Right. And so, like, I don't think we really get it. I don't think we really get like how catastrophically insane it was, right?
Yeah.
Like, when there's just no regulation, just go crazy, do all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, fracking is terrifically bad right now, but also at the same time, the reason that fracking got approved in the United States, whether you like Obama or not, I had a lot of criticism for the Obama administration when they were in, but you can actually go back and find the speeches where Obama was talking about why they approved fracking. One of the big reasons to approve fracking was to create an energy source that was so cheap that it would be able to springboard us into producing things like solar panels, like wind turbines, geothermal, sure, but geothermal not in the national parks, right? Like, we were supposed to be utilizing fracking for a cheap energy source to start to produce more sustainable production, right, of energy that we are required to have here, right? Like, no one's getting away from having electricity. No one is just stepping away. Like, maybe you don't want to have the heat turned on. Maybe you don't like lights, but you probably don't want your food to go bad, right? So you probably need a refrigerator or something.
Yeah.
You know, like, there are so many aspects of modern life that requires energy in order to, like, just live, right? And so the reason that they approved fracking was that was the process. That was the thought process, was with fracking, we'll be producing so much oil, we'll be producing all this oil and energy at a low cost, so that brings the cost down of producing these other technologies that are more sustainable.
I'll be back in a sec.
G'day, Triple A.
Right. Okay. The clean coal conversation is to reduce the amount of pollution from the coal burning plants. We have coal burning plants. Australia has coal burning plants. Germany has coal burning plants. We all have coal somewhere in our system, and we want to get away from there. The clean coal has to do with the efficiency of burning it at a higher temperature, and reducing the pollutant output, right? So it's not a sham. It's not a solution, right? And just the same way that like putting a Band-Aid on your wound isn't the solution, but it is a part of the remedy, correct? Right? You need time,
stepping stones on the
rest,
way.
yes. And so it's like you can't just go, we need solar, and then all of a sudden go like, oh, well, we've suddenly made 100 billion of them, and we turned them all on, and they're all plugged in, and it's all good, and there we go, we're done. Like, it's going to take tons of time to implement those large systems, right? Like, how long did it take to build a dam, right? And like, how many hydroelectric dams are there in the United States?
G'day, Trash Cat.
Hydroelectric dams.
Isn't it funny how 99 times out of 101 times when you're on a live stream and you have to Google something, you feel the need to say it out loud? I'm not saying you. I do it too. Almost every live stream that I watch of anyone else, if they have to Google something, they say the words as they're typing it.
Yeah, it's just so that like the people listening know that it's like, oh, hold on, this is what I'm looking up.
He's actually typing something. Just seems like an automatic imperative that we do.
We don't have like a number here. Where's the number? There exists over 12,000 megawatts of potential hydroelectricity capacity in the U.S. Capacity in the U.S. existing 80,000 unpowered dams. So we have like 80,000 dams.
Unpowered dams.
Yeah, unhydroelectric dams, right? How many?
And you
can just have a raw number of how many there are.
You can generate a fair bit of electricity for like a single house out of doing like one of those pipe setups where you run a pipe down the length of creek and generate it inside the pipe. They're a good system.
Yeah, I went and looked at one of those because I want to. I have a place I want to set one up, where I want to make a video about it at some point. But like, okay, for instance, like in Washington State, we have the Grand Coulee Dam, which produces 6,809 megawatts, which is an insane amount of electricity. We have the Chief Joseph Dam, which produces 2,614 megawatts. We have the Dalles Dam. I've actually been to all three of these. And by the way, if you go to the Grand Coulee Dam, they have a wonderful 4th of July extravaganza there, and it is a lot of fun. Fun for the family and for beer drinking weirdos like you guys. How many dams are there? The United States has more than 90,000 dams, but only 3% of those currently support hydroelectric generators. So whatever 3% of 90,000 dams is. But like, we have 90,000 dams in the United States, right? Like, it's going to take a long time. My point was it's going to take a long time to build the infrastructure that does stuff. And it's very difficult to even fund those projects now because of just how much pushback we get. But, the hydroelectric dams in Washington State, those are built with all tax money. Those were all built with tax money. And we sit around here in the 21st century and act like those were private companies that built. No, it wasn't. Those are public projects, man. Always says
2,700.
2,700 electric dams. But yeah, just imagine building one of those, right? Like that's
Well,
going to take a long time and a lot of input and a lot of stuff, let alone 2,700 of them, right?
I just looked up how many are in Australia, and it says there's more than 100, but they've created a list of operational hydropower plants in Australia with a capacity of over 50 megawatts. And the list is, I wish they'd have numbers instead of bullet points. 3, 6, 9, about 40 odd, more than 50 megawatts.
Right.
So it's still a fair bit of juice coming out of 40 odd, and probably less locations to have to feed with power than over there. Oh, yeah, that's right. There's a significant difference between our populations, isn't there? I forgot about that.
Slightly.
It's only about 100 times more. No, 10 times more. And a little bit. 13 times more. That's my final offer.
So
Yeah,
with the
should be used more.
Corey said something about clean coal. Yeah, I agree. Clean coal is a bit of a lie, but there has been some developments since the 1940s technology.
No, I was talking about it because, Cora was kind of mad about the clean coal and how much money was put towards it. And it's like, yeah. So, okay. They put the moniker of clean coal, right? They say, oh, it's clean coal.
First mistake.
And then people criticize it based off of its name, right?
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
It's not clean coal. There's no such thing. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
yes. This is the moniker. They've named it so that we can identify what the fuck we're talking about, right? Not that coal is suddenly clean now. They're going, you need to up the temperature, you need to up the efficiency, you need to up, and then you need to decrease the output of toxins into the environment. But if you say that, no one knows what the fuck you're talking about because you just said way too many sentences to go on the front of a sheet of paper that they send out in the mail to put all those sentences down there. So they put clean coal at the top. It gets your attention, and you look at it and go, what the fuck are these guys talking about? Right?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Let me go listen to the half-an-hour presentation of like all of this information as to why they need to update all of these systems so that we can stop dumping so much toxin outside and people getting brain cancer and shit, right? Like how, but they go, global warming, it's a hoax.
Run off the tongue as well.
The world's not getting warmer. And they go, okay, well, hey man, my name is Joel, right? Like but nobody ever sits down and goes like, yeah, but there's like millions of Joels around. Like, which one are you? What the fuck? It's a lie. It's a goddamn lie. Like what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
It's an identifier of the thing we're talking about, right? Like, but the criticism always comes from this like really wild place, and
Exactly.
And I'm like, look, I understand that the average person doesn't want to think about most things that are going on in the world because I'm an average person and I don't want to think about most of the things that go on in the world, right? We just went through breast cancer with Vicky, right?
Oh.
I don't want to think about breast cancer because I don't want to think about it, right? But like the first day that we started treatment, we went through and met with 14 different doctors who have spent their whole goddamn lives thinking about breast cancer, cancer research, going to school for like 10 years, doing a residency, learning how to cut cancer out of bodies, learning the effects of radiation and what you can do and targeted radiation. And like, we got new technology for this thing that's coming out that we might be able to do, blah, 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 blah. And you sit there and it's like, fuck, bro, like, I've been in all these meetings. I'm straight up falling asleep. Can you guys just do it? Like fucking, like, I'm not gonna get a certificate after I sit through all of these things. And this is the life of my spouse, right? And it is difficult for me to go like sit through a whole entire day while they drone on about a thing that they are like hyper focused and hyper fixated on and have spent their whole lives to get ready to treat, right? And so like But a lot of people are doing that in a lot of places, and I don't want to have to think about those things, right? And I understand where most people come from, where it's like, I read the title of the thing and I totally disagree with it because I haven't really spent any time thinking about it or working on it or going into that kind of stuff, right? And so, like, I understand where most people are coming from in the fact of like, well, I heard somebody talk about it and that's my opinion now, and fuck it, I'm moving on. I've got that figured out because I don't want to think about it anymore or whatever, right? But it's a very complex system to try to maintain all of this stuff, right? And like I said, I didn't agree with Obama. He's not a deity in my mind. He's not up on a pedestal or any of that kind of stuff. But what I brought up was the reason for fracking and the reason for trying to improve the coal power plants and all of that stuff was in order for us to phase into other technologies that are going to affect, by the way, not effect, affect the health and lives of the people that are around it for the next 50 years, 100 years, right?
Yeah.
Like, and if we're not forward thinking,
I got to take a phone call.
For instance, get out of the pocket of big oil, right? And using the tax dollars that we have all collected as a collective whole in order to fund moving forward, like, what's the point, right? I don't think there's a single person. I don't think there's a single person watching YouTube right now in the world that thinks if you sit in a garage with the door closed and your car running is a good idea, right? We know that the exhaust coming out of your vehicle will poison you and you will die. Correct? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If there's 4 billion of those driving around every day, it is doing something to where we live.
Yep.
Right? We're being affected by it.
Yeah.
Why is that not a concern? It's not a concern because, like I said, people don't want to think about this shit. You got other stuff you got to think about, and that's fine. Like, I'm not criticizing people for that, but at the very least, we got to give the tools and stuff for the people that are focusing on that stuff.
For sure.
So that they can implement the new technology. I get so many arguments with currently I get in arguments with electricians screaming about how electric vehicles are bad. Which I'm like, I don't even understand how you could spend 40 years of your life being an electrician and somebody goes, hey, we have an electric vehicle. It operates on the electricity that you understand. You understand the mechanism of how motors work, how phasing works, DC, AC, all of that stuff, right? You understand that? Yeah. Well, we have a vehicle that operates on that. Yeah, but my diesel, fucking bro, like my diesel's better. And you go like, how do you know it's better? Because it's better, man. I could drive it. And you're like, okay. Okay, cool. The batteries, they're brought to you by slave labor. Okay. Do you think that there's something that we could do to resolve that situation? I buy gas. Okay, so you think that gas does not contribute to any slave labor throughout the whole entire planet that we're on right now? Like, what are you talking about? You think continuing buying diesel is going to reduce the amount of slavery in the world, or what? Like, what is it that what's the plan here, right? Oh, well, the electric vehicle doesn't go as far. Okay, but you could also plug it in where you go. You know, so you, like, let's say you go to a job site where you're doing electrical work, which means that there's electricity there.
Yeah.
Fucking plug your car in and then drive it back home, right? Oh, well, the batteries will pollute. The batteries will pollute. You go, okay, but you could recycle the batteries. Oh, I can't recycle the Okay, they could be recycled. We already know how to recycle them.
It just costs money.
It just costs money, right?
That's it, man. That's
But once there's a marketplace, to recycle the batteries, then
there's money in it.
Then people will make money, and then they'll do that, right?
Yeah.
Now, how many times have you ever put petrol, diesel, gasoline, whatever the fuck you want to call it, put that into your vehicle, and then ever have something to recycle once the tank is empty? You burn it, it's gone. You don't have anything after the fact, right? At the very least, our tiny human brains should be able to understand that concept. The concept that you put the fuel in there, you drive around, now there's no fuel anymore. You've got to get more fuel. You don't have anything left. At the very least, you could understand the concept of, well, I used the batteries and now the batteries don't work anymore, but now I have these batteries in my hand still. Like they haven't evaporated into the air.
Yeah.
So then the next criticism is, well, I got to plug it in. I got to plug it into the power grid, and they're burning coal on the other end just to make the electricity. So what? That's no good. And I go like, do you think that the power plant is more efficient at burning a fuel to create electricity?
But
or is your car more? Or do you think your car is more?
Do you think
efficient?
the power plant could even function without electricity?
I don't understand that question. But
well, the power plant runs on electricity, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So what's more primal, electricity or gas? Electricity is more primal.
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
What do these people think is more efficient?
You need a spark before you get a flame, don't you?
Right. But my point is what's more efficient? The car that you own that costs $20,000, or the giant facility that's being operated and maintained to create electricity. Which one do you think is more efficient? And also, let's take into consideration the delivery method of they send it on the power lines to your house versus driving a big tanker truck down the road to put the fuel in the gas station, and then you go to the gas station to buy the gas from them, which is also a wasted trip, right?
Yeah.
You know,
this is the light bulb moment in our history, really. Like we've got to get over this hill. It's super important because electricity is harnessed lightning. It's our legacy. We got to go with it.
Yeah. The Pacific Northwest Aqua says, I think it is weird that they banned installing natural gas appliances in new homes in Oregon and Washington. Like it makes a big difference. So one of the big, so this has come up a lot also. I'm going to convert my range to natural gas because I'm a trained chef, man. I like cooking on gas. That's just, but for the average person, like an induction range is much more efficient. And a lot of it has to do with the efficiency and the building process of running natural gas all over the place. It has less to do with your personal preference. It has more to do with like the wasted, has to do with like all of the wasted construction stuff that you have to do to have all the natural gas put into all the buildings and stuff. Right. So just imagine this, like digging a trench everywhere for natural gas to go up to every single building. Right. That's kind of a waste of time, realistically. Running natural gas into 10-story apartment buildings, into every single apartment.
Right.
Every single connection point, everything has to be installed properly. It has to be checked for leaks. It has to be checked for pressure. It has to be rated specifically to however much you're going to burn and whatever application it's going to be. I don't know how many times I've gone to a place where now this is in like restaurant settings, but you could only have 2 of the fryers turned on if you had 2 of the ovens turned on because they never even They never even upsized the gas to run all of the equipment that was installed in there. And that, but that's the reasoning behind it, is that like you're doing all of this extra work and you're not getting a lot of you're not getting a return out of it. And so that's the reasoning, because you can run electricity really efficiently up buildings and around two buildings and stuff like that. And you're going to have to do that anyhow, because there's no such thing as like a house that only runs off. Well, there are houses that run off of natural gas, but they run to a generator, which creates electricity that powers the building, which is terribly inefficient, by the way. That's just not a great way to do things. But the only reason I say that is so that it's like, well, I know a guy who he does the thing. Right. Yeah, I understand. But it has more to do with the efficiency. And also, as they say out there's too much red tape around construction. Well, this eliminates the red tape of having any of the gas considerations to get the buildings built faster, right? Because as soon as you add gas to that building, you have a whole bunch more inspections to do. You have a whole bunch more fire suppression to do. You have a whole bunch more stuff to get buildings built. And guess what?
Yeah.
We don't have enough housing. We need to build more shit. And so let's go, right? So it's one of those things that people are upset that they're banning it, but they, when it comes down to it, like, the government is the representation of the will of the people, right? Democratically elected representatives go out there and they do that, and they're implementing what they think they can get done to try and move things forward or not, right? Some of them are crazy and they don't want to move anything forward, and they're whatever. Some of them are crazy and only want to do whatever, right? But they're the elected representation, right? And I guarantee you, every single person in Washington and Oregon know that there is some sort of housing shortage in these states, right? Because there's just really no question about it, right? And if you want to get more stuff built, you need to figure out how to get it done faster. And one of the ways that they figured out how to do that was, well, if we ban putting these appliances in, now we don't have to do all of this step. Like, this step is eliminated. Okay, now we don't have to worry about it. If people want to do it, they can do it on their own dime, and then we'll get that inspected or whatever. They can do that whole process on their own if they want to add it. And so, yeah, I mean, of course, if you turn on like whatever specific media source that you're listening to, it becomes either a vilification or a success, right? And it's very easy to like listen to the narratives out there and just go like, yeah, all right, I'm fucking mad, but also at the same time, like, we have to sit down and do like critical thinking about what are all the things that are going into what is going on, right? And so it's like, I always try to tell people, I'm like, look into it, man. Like, go find some sources of like what's going on, and like, how do we get from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 all the way down the line to step 50. But yeah. So Cody says, why couldn't they just build it their way? Why ban it? So they didn't ban installing gas. They banned installing the gas appliances in brand new buildings, right? And it's basically just a code regulation that, like, if you're building to code, you can't do this. If you want to do the gas installation, you do it after you get your occupancy cert, right? You get your occupancy certificate. They're done with all the inspections. Cool. Call the gas company, have the gas company trench out there and put their line in if that's available, right? But, we need to get houses built. They need to get done. We need housing to get done. It just has to happen. Like, we have a shortage of housing in this state for sure. So how do you implement that stuff? Well, so what they did was, so here's an example. So the city of Seattle banned, air quote, banned, whatever. The first thing that came out was no more styrofoam. If you are, as in Australia, you'd say takeaway, right?
Yep.
If you're a restaurant that is going to send out takeaway, You can no longer do that in styrofoam.
We've had that for years. Yeah.
Yeah, this has been in place for years in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
They said you can't do styrofoam anymore. It's against the law now, right? But if you have existing styrofoam, you're allowed to run through your inventory.
Right.
You're able to use up your supply. You don't have to buy stuff right this minute and then throw all this stuff away. Use up what you have, and when it comes time to replace it with something that is not styrofoam, right? There are many options out there. Pick whatever you want to do that, right?
Yeah.
Now, everyone freaked out because the city of Seattle is tyrannically attacking all of the restaurants and walking around restaurant to restaurant, just stabbing people or whatever it was that people tried to act like was going on, right? That's how they were acting. Like, oh my God, the city of Seattle is attacking all of the restaurants. Oh my God, they're going to destroy these businesses are going to go under. How can anybody even do anything anymore? We're not even allowed to do anything, guys. Like, everything's against the rules, and you're like, stop throwing fucking styrofoam out of your car, and maybe it would have stayed. Maybe they would have kept doing it. But you guys keep throwing it out the window, and there's fucking styrofoam everywhere, right? Like, what do you want us to? What do you want? What? So they ended up banning it. We went through the process, and so the next step that they did was, well, plastic bags, baby. Plastic bags gotta go. And do you know how they implemented that is they started charging like 8 cents if you're gonna if you're gonna give your customer a plastic bag, the customer has to pay 8 cents for each plastic bag that they get. Boy, howdy, you guess what? People are like, fuck that, I'm not paying a plastic bag. I'll have is a paper bag free? I'll have that. I shall take the paper bag. Totally fine. And it was only 8 cents.
Contrary to that as well, there was the people who thought, I don't care, it's an extra 8 cents and I get to carry my groceries conveniently. I'll quite happily pay that for a plastic bag that will continue to pollute the planet.
Over time, most of the grocery stores and stuff just said, well, we don't have plastic bags anymore, because they ran through their inventory and they just didn't have them anymore. They're like, here's your bag. And guess what? No one gives a shit. Over a period of time, no one cares anymore. It's just like, they just give you get the bags and you get your groceries. I got to go home because I don't want to think about it, because it's not, you don't want to think about it, right? Like, why? I'm like wasting my brain time thinking about plastic bags that the groceries came in, right?
I think clearly
no styrofoam cups anywhere in Australia. Gone. Yeah.
I think the best thing that came out of the plastic bag banning and ceasing was those eBay posts of a single plastic bag up for auction, and the price being set at $500 or $600. That was the best thing. Not the saving the pollution. It was the funny eBay posts.
Right.
I probably came into that conversation way too late. I do apologize for coming in.
Go have a look at McDonald's straws on eBay.
Yeah, well, those paper ones that they have now are hideous to drink through. I hate them.
Yeah, but the paper ones don't. Admittedly, the paper ones don't work good. And every 2-bit hack comedian has some stupid bit about paper straws, right? Great. Let's get it. Everyone knows paper straws are stupid. It's dumb. But I can tell you from personal experience, in 1999, they came out with straws that are made, guess what? From corn waste.
Sweet.
It's a corn byproduct, and it feels like a fucking plastic straw.
Yeah.
And it starts to biodegrade after like a few days. You basically it's in a little corn plastic sheath that feels just like a plastic wrapper. You open that up, you put the straw in there, you suck on it, and you drink your whole drink, and however many hours go by and nothing is wrong with it. But if you leave that thing sitting on the counter for a couple of days with the straw sitting in the melted ice or whatever, and you pull it out, the bottom of it's all waggly and schwaggly because it's already degrading because it's made out of corn. Now, they have had that for over fucking 25 years or something crazy now. And I'll tell you, you know why restaurants didn't want to carry them?
Because it's edible.
No,
What?
it's more expensive than
It's
the
more
plastic
expensive.
straws.
Money. Yeah.
It literally boiled down to that box of straws costs $12. This box of straws costs $17. Fuck it, I'm buying the plastic ones. It's just that's all it boils down to.
If more people adopted it in the early days, then production
No, they
costs would
still have
come
it
down.
now. It's ecoplastic. It's the corn derivative shit. They still have it now, and some places, a lot of places you go to now, you'll see it. Like the cups, you'll think it's like a clear plastic cup, but if you actually like read the code off of the bottom, you're like, oh, this one is corn. I can pick them up and I can feel the difference because I'm used to like acknowledging it, right? But like most people use it and they don't even realize, they just think it's a plastic cup or whatever. Now the actual benefit there is that like if they throw it in the landfill thing, right, because they think it's plastic, well, who gives a shit? It's still going to biodegrade. It's going to break down. Even if it ends up in the landfill, it's still going to break down just as well as if you send it anywhere else. So that's the to me, that's the big upside. And it's like, guess what? We produce so much freaking corn. Like, how about stop making corn sugar syrup and putting that in everything and start using the corn for the containers that we're obsessed with, right?
Absolutely. This is where certain groups need to step in and just make changes and just
right. Well, the problem is that okay, so like if we're talking about like the plastic waste and stuff, as an individual person, I can't affect that at all. I have zero effect on who's producing plastic or not producing plastic or any of that shit. It all boils down to the corporations, whether they're going to make a decision to do a thing or not do a thing.
Yeah.
Right? I can't do it. Corporations will have to do it. These big mega conglomerate multi-billion-dollar operations are going to have to choose to do it, or we have to regulate them to do it, right? It's either a law
I'll set my
or it's either a law
this.
and they have to do it. It's either a law and they have to do it and comply, or we just wait around for the next 200,000 years for them to go like, maybe we should do the right thing while the fucking barn's on fire, right? You know, like, and they've proven
People
time and time
are
again they're not going to do it.
There's not enough of them, Joel.
What's that?
I've got a friend in London at the moment studying at Cambridge and Oxford. Sorry, thank you, Emma. And he does green banking, so he's tasked with pulling up all the corporations in England and international companies and saying, you've done the crime, you pay the bills. Eco crime is real and you have to factor that into your equations of your profitabilities. And it's going down. He's been at the last two COP meetings and it's happening, but we could get more momentum on it. Absolutely. With drink bottles now.
I got a mate who runs a environmental packaging and cutlery stuff business out at the industrial estate. I must ask him if he uses the cornstarch plastic stuff in his gear.
PRB has a good point. With drink bottles now worth 10 cents, we no longer see drink bottle litter around town, but masks litter is everywhere. Never thought of that being an issue a few years ago. That's true. You know, I've seen a lot of masks lying on the ground, and I've seen a lot of masks lying on the ground littered, and that sucks. But it's also a sign of like, it's the 21st century. Every day I drive to work, it's dark out when I drive to work, and I see the lit cigarettes getting chucked out the window. Right. I see it on the freeway every morning. Somebody is and just throwing it out the window. Right.
That's sad.
You guys know that I smoked for years.
Yeah.
I'm not saying smoke or don't smoke or do whatever. I'm like, do whatever the fuck you want, man. I don't care. But when it comes to like throwing the lit cigarette out the window, now I care because now you're affecting me, right? And so that's the big difference. Like I don't care if you smoke in your car and drive to work. I don't.
It's
I frankly
especially
don't care. But why are you throwing the
especially
lit butt
fire in
out the window?
Australia
You're
when
throwing the
they
lit
do
butt
that.
out the window, and then there's a fire on the side of the road.
Exactly.
And my
Exactly.
tax money,
That's what goes on,
my tax money gets burned up.
Yeah.
Sending the fire department out there to put the freeway out because you're too lazy to fucking bring a cup of water with you or whatever. Like, what is that? You know? So, you know, like, and with the masks, the same thing. People just chuck them on the ground or what? I don't know what they're doing, but they end up on the ground outside, and you're like,
I got a fix.
What is this?
I got a fix. Here you go. Smoking license.
That sounds weird.
You need
but
a license. You need a license to get a gun. You need a license to get smokes.
No,
Seriously.
you don't need a license to get a gun. But yeah,
So you've just got to swear that you'll not throw your roaches out the window while you're driving.
I mean,
along.
it's a big fine if you get caught. But then that also leads to the problem of police pulling over people in a high-speed freeway area, right? And then that creates another danger for me.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And for every one that gets seen, there's 750,000 that don't.
Yeah.
Because there's still a lot of uneducated trash out there throwing their ciggies out the window.
Yeah.
Imagine that someone dies just over a ciggy flick.
Well, it's not. Here's the thing. Like, it's not
going on every day.
It's not that they aren't educated about it. They know.
They're
they just don't care.
Yeah.
They just don't care. Right. That's the reality. It's like there's no way in this day and age you do what? Throwing my lit cigarettes out the window is bad. I didn't even know that. What?
Did we talk about the New Zealand thing with the smoking age? Have we talked about that on this stream yet?
No,
when New Zealand basically set a thing now that says if you're born after this year, when it's like a 1990s year, I think, or it might be a 2000 and early's year.
Mm-hmm.
If you're born after this year, you cannot buy cigarettes.
Like anymore.
Anymore.
Right.
So they're trying
raised
to make the smokers die out.
They raised the age here to like 20. It used to be 18, I think, and now it's 21.
It's 18 here.
Yeah, it was 18 here forever, and then they just recently raised it to 21. I don't know, man. It's hard to say. It's like we all know how bad smoking is, but like we're all fucking idiots and end up smoking, and
Cora Works, you're absolutely right about the glass thing. That's why cans are king. If it's in a can, it's fresh.
Mm-hmm.
If it's in a bottle, it could have been sitting on a shelf for years.
And aluminium is infinitely recyclable with much less of the energy of glass.
Exactly. So if you're going to buy some beers, grab some cans. Avoid the glass.
I almost always
doing the refillable drink bottle.
There's currently a company that they make bottled water, but it's not bottled, it's in a can. It's an aluminum can. So it's basically like it's like instead of bottled water, it's in an aluminum can. But here's the really innovative part. It's free.
Nice.
So they sell advertising on the can. Right?
Nice.
So it's like Ford Motor Company or whatever is what it says on the, have like Ford's advertisement on the can, and the can is free. Here you go. The advertising paid for it.
Yeah. Right.
So you don't buy it. They're like, yeah, you just have one. Here you go. The advertising already paid for the can, the water, the distribution, the people selling the ads, all that shit. It's all covered. So obviously they don't give you all of them, but I believe there's like, you can have like 2 a day or something. There's some way that they are like, hey, you were here before, get out of here. You can't have more.
Right.
You've
Is that
had your
just
pill.
or
But
is
they
that a
just give them away for
US-wide?
free. I passed that on to somebody, and I was like, this would be a great advertising. This would be a great way to advertise. And they were like, I don't know, it's interesting, I guess. Like, okay.
Have you been into BWS this week, Z-Bane?
I have not.
They've been doing a similar thing, I think, but I didn't actually think this thing until you've suggested it. But there's this brand of beers called Mosey, and they must be a coming up one. But
Yeah.
since maybe yesterday or the day before yesterday and the week previous to that, they've had a stack of these Mosey beers on the counter. And the first time I got them, they gave me a 4-pack for free. They just said, here you go, have a free pack of these. And then the next time I went in, they just had a pile of singles, and they were giving every single customer a single one for free. But
Yeah.
I don't know if was just a promotional thing, or because it was shit and they were trying to get rid of it, or if it's a similar situation to what Joel's just talking about now.
Good publicity. Give it
Yeah.
away. Give it away now.
Give it
They're
away,
all
give it away,
all
give it away.
different
Meow.
fruit flavored beers.
All right, guys. It's 10 o'clock. I turn it into a pumpkin.
Okay, man.
I got to go to bed.
Rightio.
Nice chat with you, Joel.
Couple of hours of sleep, and then back at it.
Sorry, I was gone for that extensive phone conversation that went around in multiple circles.
Yeah, it's totally all right, man.
I don't know if people were witnessing my I was probably leaned over like this and no one could see my face while I was on the phone call. I had to get quite animated at some stages trying to make my points to the lady. But unfortunately, she has red tape to deal with, so I may not get my wishes.
That's a bummer.
But I also did that sensible thing where I said, I appreciate that you've got red tape that you have to deal with, but this is really the sensible way to do this thing.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to communicate that effectively to people in those positions.
You'd be like, this is the way. This is the way.
Yeah, I know it's the way.
Joel.
Bye-bye.
But yeah, like I say, there multiple people in that organisation are very restricted by safety laws and red tape, good old red tape of many different shades. So yeah, I do appreciate their drama, but they also do need to listen to the people that they're trying to serve. Absolutely, Huawei. Red tape. It's the best coloured tape.
All right, buddy. I hate to leave you by yourself, but you're going to have to deal with it because I got to go.
Hey, often it's my favourite place in life.
Oh, just chilling by yourself?
Sitting in the corner on my own in a fetal position crying. That's my favourite.
That's strong. It's a strong move. All right, buddy. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care. And then there was 1.5. How good those Transformers look. Kid's got a much better idea for displaying toys than I do. Although I did tidy off the top of my cupboard the other day where had way too much shit other than just Lego on it. So yeah, I've got to vacuum all the dust off it, and then I can display some of my Legos as well as Josh has displayed his Transformers.
Dust-free environments. Impossible.
Although when Todd was here, Todd's probably working. He's probably still not in the chat, but he was here the other day, and he was saying he's got this. Basically, I think he said it was a square meter of perspex.
Yeah.
Like with walls and a roof, but no bottom.
Yeah.
With a door on it. And I was thinking, wow, that sounds like a really good idea for displaying Legos under and not getting dust into.
Yeah.
Just the dimensions were a little bit concerning. It'd have to be like a
Kmart's got a-
centerpiece.
Kmart's got a really good Chinese-made Lego knockoff minifigure display cabinet at the moment. I'm thinking of getting one just to display all my collection. Where's Blacky gone? He's on a mission. He's got it. Oh, yes. He's got it. Nice one, brother.
I got 4 of them, and 3 of them have a few in at the moment, and they stack on top of one another.
Lovely.
I'm just
thinking
getting
of getting the flat one, so I can
Yeah,
mount it on the wall.
I got one of them as well.
Yeah, no.
But I'm getting paged indoors for assistance, so I'll be back shortly if you can hold.
No worries. I'll keep it going. It's funny that we still have Kmart, yeah, because Australia fucking rocks. Yeah, Cora works. It's hard because we need that red tape to prevent the dust bowls of the world from being repeated. Yeah, the Sahara used to be amazing, but that just got destroyed by stupidity. Everywhere there's a desert, pretty much used to be civilizations. Huawei came up, started in America, right? I'm pretty sure. But it came to Australia and now it doesn't exist in America. Is that what's going on? I don't know about blue tag and red tag specials. I've never seen that. Another funny one is Burger King in America came to Australia and this dude got the license for it, but does everything Burger King, but calls it Hungry Jacks. and it's all the same branding, just alternate dimension Hungry Jacks. Yeah. No Kmart's in America anymore. Wow. Kmart is pretty cool. I like Kmart. Oh, Hungry Jack's is terrible. It's called road trip food, but I prefer it over McDonald's. Oh yeah, West Farmers. Pretty sure Kmart doesn't do business in America anymore. It dropped out because you guys have like the next level up, like Costco and shit like that. Bigger. Go big or go home, I guess. So I've potentially lined up a job for me to take some of my fish and my plants and make some money setting up aquaculture for people. It's going to be pretty good. Make some coin out of my hobby. Kmart and Blockbuster, but there is that one Blockbuster in Colorado that just refuses to close. Good stuff. Yeah, we've got a DVD rental place over at Brunswick Heads, just over that way, and they're still doing business because of the holiday rentals and I don't know. People are still supporting them, so they've got a. They're still hiring DVDs. Georgie, bought any silver lately? What was my last silver purchase? Yeah, I got some good stuff coming. Do you want me to go grab some samples? I'll show you the awesome stuff. I'll be 1 second. Here's some wings to show. Okay, sorry for leaving you in the lurch. Got some new merch. We got these. Oh, is it gonna? No, the camera's not gonna get it. These are 3D printed wax casts of the Flower of Life. They're 110 Australian dollars for a pair of earrings. Pretty fucking fancy. And g'day Gaffer. Here we have this beautiful piece. They're 120, so that's hand carved mother of pearl shell on the wings, and the drop is a citrine with silver. Sterling silver, yeah. Very pretty. I got some with the blood drop as well for the Warhammer aficionados. If you want to be a blood angel, we got the blood angel pendant. There's peridot ones as well, which is a green stone.
So garnet for the blood one.
Yeah, garnet for the blood one. Yeah, gorgeous. Kyanite too. We got blue drops as well. Yeah. Yeah, the wings are very well made in Bali tribals. You get the material, natural material, and carve it up. Yeah, they got aquaculture going on, so it's sustainable. So I think I've got to drop Emma's Instagram links. Emma, do you mind sending me your Instagram links?
Well, it's just at the Merchants of Venus Jewelry.
All right, here we go. At the Merchants of Venus Jewelry. I'll get on here and link you guys in if you want to have a look at more of what we do. Sorry, I'm not the best host on my own, but Michael's doing his thing. His parents are needing care. Okay. Coming to a chat near you very soon. Here we go. I'm looking at myself. Echoes. Here we go. I'm looking at myself. Echoes. Let's have some fun. Here we go. I'm looking at myself. Echoes. Let's have some fun. Here we go. was that?
What is that? Is it coming from my microphone?
No, it's I put it on a loop with the camera on camera.
What is that? Is it coming from my microphone?
No, it's me.
I put it on a loop. Right, yeah. I could hear this crazy noise coming from inside the house, and I thought my computer's exploding or something.
No,
Yeah, it had
just
to,
me
Joel
being-
G. Anyway, I've got to keep going.
Oh, he's got to go. Damn. I thought my inception moment might have brought Blacky back, but he's yeah. It's feedback, yo. Yeah. Camera on camera action. Explore it. It's quite fun. Camera on screen. Yeah, I got him back. But it wasn't lasting. Oh well. So yeah, if you've got an Instagram, check out Emma's stuff. She's got lots of good posts. It was the good feedback, wasn't it, Coro? Not the bad kind. No. It was just my phone. Because I was exploiting the delay between StreamYard and YouTube. So it was a feedback loop with delay. I don't know if you're into someone here is into guitar pedals. You know what I'm talking about. Hydrate, indeed. I'm on the antibiotics, so no alcohol today, just the old sparkling mango tins. When you want to drink something but you can't drink beer. George, you should have got some beatbox sounds in there. You want me to make some ad-lib music? Do you want me to try this? Try this out. So I got a de facto loop station. Trash Cat Blacky's had to deal with his parental situation.
Oh, yeah. I could hear this crazy noise coming from inside the house, and I thought my computer's exploding or something. Yeah, it has to, Joel.
All right, we got a loop.
Yeah, it has to, Joel.
All right, we got a loop.
Yeah, it has to, Joel.
All right, we got a loop.
Yeah, it has to, Joel.
Baka, 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 baka. I'm not good at this. No, the squeaks are going to get too much. This is silly. I'm not playing loopy games. Sorry, guys. I'll let you down. The Z-Beam Hour with Chewbacca noises. Headphone warning. Yeah. The tweeters will hit your ear receptors. Asmir, you reckon my microphone's that good? You can hear the nice tones. Artifon Orba. Never heard of it. I shall have a look. Artifon Orba. Oh, this thing looks good. Yeah. Why wait? You might have. Did you not hear me talk about the unbearable weight of massive talent? Z-Beam, have you heard the latest that Australian governments are discussing making vape possession a crime? Yeah, I have heard things about this, and I am staunchly against it. So do me a favor, ring up your local MP and cane the shit out of them. If you want something done, talk to a politician's assistant. Don't send an email. Don't do bloody petitions and putting your email on a petition. That does nothing. That's just noise. Get on the actual phone and call them and tell them your gripes, and shit changes. It works. Yeah, the Nicolas Cage movie, Huawei. Excellent. Most excellent. Orba, $99 or $25 on Afterpay. Wow. I think I might get myself one of these things. Thank you very much for the link, Coro. You're a legend.
What did you find?
He's got me a link to this thing called an Orba, which is a loop station, micro-sized, and it's only $100. You can take it anywhere and make little loops.
I just got like 35 extra subscribers because you were the only person on screen and there was no Blacky or Corvus here. It's wild. Oh.
Where's he going now? We waited all this time and he's gone again. Oh. All right. I'm going to grab myself an Orba.
Just hygiene practices and stuff. I probably should wash my hands generally when I finish doing those kind of things. As GRB says, Z-Beam, have you heard the latest? Chat just jumped. Latest that Australian governments are discussing making vape possession a crime. AAA, when you asked, I guess, because it was about 15 seconds ago. Where's he gone now? He's just gone to get more subscribers. I wish I could just go and pluck subscribers out of my filthy bathroom sink, clogged with hair and other sink-related nonsense.
Welcome back, Blacky. Is your parentals all sorted out?
We're getting there. It's a time of the afternoon that things start to get a little busy, but yeah, I'll put my mum into bed and my dad on the toilet.
All right.
And yeah, I'll have to go back shortly to lift him back off the toilet, but hopefully by then it'll be time to start cooking dinner and stuff.
All right.
It is his favorite room in the house that he likes to spend a lot of time sitting in. So I'm not averse to just letting him sit there in the toilet for a little while. I probably should have left him with a newspaper, but he'll just nod off and go to sleep there for a bit. It's a convenient nap.
Yep.
The caca siesta.
In Bali, they call it the kamakachil.
What does that translate to?
The littlest room.
Ah, Right. Okay. Oh, my caca siesta means poop nap.
Ooh, yeah, that's getting close to dirt nap, which is the code for offing someone.
Just it's code for just death in general, isn't it?
Yeah,
So it's only killing someone when you threaten someone with a dirt nap.
yeah,
So, going back to this conversation that you were talking about before about this little loop station,
yeah.
it was $100. Can I have this link too?
Just look it up. Artifon Orba.
Oh, it's okay for you to. Oh, you didn't get sent a link, did you?
I didn't get something.
I was
That's
going
all
to
right.
be really facetious then, and then I realised I didn't even have grounds to be facetious.
This is hot shit. I'm ordering it right now. I get recommendations for good stuff, and I'm onto it.
What inputs has it got, or is it USB and all computer based?
I think it's all Bluetooth and to the phone and everything. It's just a control interface. Looks the business. I don't care. It's a new toy. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
I like to play.
I like to play.
Haste. Go. Oh, and it's from Koala Audio. Or is that just a shop that's selling it? No, yeah, it's just a shop that's selling it.
All right. They won't ship to my home address for some reason. So I'll do the PO box.
All right. I also have that opened on a link. So I'll check that out shortly. Huawei says, Josh, seen any good movies lately?
Yeah, we talked about that. That was the unbearable weight of massive talent.
That's the Nicolas Cage one, isn't it?
Yeah. Fucking hilarious.
Hilarious.
Really well.
I've heard no negative stuff about that movie at all.
You can't be a critic when it comes to quality like that.
Amateur. Oh, I don't call you that anymore. I'll just call you AAA until I get a better nickname for you. Noticed on your 100th episode you had 720-ish subs. Now you have 764 for the quality provided. That's debatable. Seems like it should be more to me. How can we help to improve this? Send me lots of like short videos that I can just send out as my own content, because apparently shorts is where it's at for building subs. I spent this period AAA for the last, I'm going to say probably 18 months to 2 years, dancing between about 746 and 758, 9 maybe. I think I might have, in that period, I might have cracked 760 once, but it dropped back down pretty quick. Sorry about that. I hit my microphone. So it was a really long period of time where my subscribers weren't growing. And oddly enough, it also coincided with the fact that I did stop producing a lot of video content and was only very rarely putting up random videos of stuff that might happen that was worthy. So there may be some validity in the information that if you actually put videos on your channel instead of just doing live streams, that your subscriber level might grow. But I'm what do you call it? I'm a late adopter to listening to people's advice. Unlike Josh, who follows a link and buys a thing straight away. He's an
I
early.
tried to. They won't deliver it to me, so I've got to
Try my
find a more
address.
Yeah, I'll put someone else's address. Sucks. I'm out in the Wild West. None of these city delivery companies will come near me.
Do you get normal deliveries though? Like
No.
if you don't, you get a little red slip in your mailbox saying come and collect your parcel from the postie,
Yeah.
and they're already telling you you can't even do that.
No.
Gay. I mean, that's terrible.
Yeah. Whoever they're using as their courier company is blacklisted this area, probably because of the road
Frightened.
situation.
Yeah, frightened of potholes and stuff.
Mm. Yeah, it's a bit of a sorry state at the moment. They've regraded a lot of the road out here. I don't know if you've driven past it, but
I haven't been out your way probably since the last time I came to your house.
yeah, they've stripped the tarmac off and gone down to gravel on a lot of sections in preparation to repair it. But these idiots in their four-wheel drives just plow through it like it's the
Yeah,
Nullarbor track and there's
start
just
digging new
divots in it.
holes in it.
Oh, so many divots. It's just ridiculous. And they just accelerate through it and they're fine. But us in our sedan, it does not like the bumps. The vibrations are bad for the vehicles.
Yeah, well, those German cars are made for like well-made roads,
That's right. Yeah.
not this substandard. Let's just chuck some tar on top of a gravel road.
Yeah.
Plus, they're
Next.
ruining
Oh,
the
here we
new
go.
roads. Plus, sorry, hi there. Hi, it's Emma. Hello.
Hi, Em. Hi, Em. This,
And they're
ladies and
they're
gentlemen,
ruining-
this segment is called Emma's 2 cents.
Sorry, I was taking my hair out. They're ruining the new road base that's been put down that we've been waiting for years, and all the people are just driving over it at like 60 and 80 kilometers an hour and tearing it up. And it's like, are
Yeah.
you guys really that stupid?
Yep.
Yes,
And that's
yes,
selfish.
they are.
Yes.
Selfish and stupid.
Yeah.
That you don't want to end up with a really good road. You want to end up sabotaging it along the way. Anyhow.
Some concerned citizen needs to make a lovely placard that can sit by the road and say, slow down, you unit. What do you think you're doing?
Yeah, like this is the first time we've had the road fixed. What sort of person are you? Yeah, like actually put up a sign like that. I know.
Sure, you're only living here for 12 months, but let's not leave a vapor trail of horror behind you when you go.
Yeah, for those of
maybe
you that lived here
maybe condense that down a little bit because that might be a little too wordy.
Yeah, they might not be able to read it.
Not at 80.
Sorry. Hello, Blacky. Hello.
Hi, Em. It was lovely to see you
everybody out
again.
there in the world who might be watching right now. Have a great day or night if you're in the US.
Go and
Cheers.
check out Emma's Instagram, everyone. She does lovely jewelry and stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye, guys.
See ya.
I'm not 100% sure if Huawei's got a link for Emma's Instagram. I bet you.
I chucked it up.
Oh, you did? Good.
Yep. Yep.
There you go. He's got it. He's got it all under control. Our Huawei.
Thank you, Huawei.
GRB's stoked when he comes to these streams nowadays because he goes, oh, finally I can just sit back and have a beverage and not do any moderating anymore because Huawei's on point. I'm not toileting GRB skills. GRB was and still is a quality mod, but I'm glad that he can just relax a bit in here because Huawei's on fire.
Yeah.
And yeah, good time to pipe in to GRB with that. It is wild.
Yeah.
That some of those old roads used to last a lot longer than the ones that they do take rapid time with today. Like the one between up on the Gold Coast, sort of south of Robina, where that widening of the Pacific Motorway is taking place, and that's been going on for like 10 years now. And then they've reached the final like 10 or 15 kilometers, and it's probably going to take them another 10 years to finish it. But crikey, by the time it's finished, it's going to make that drive so much more pleasant. And, you know, 24 minutes quicker each way.
They've got some rolled up white matting material that they're going to use that I've never seen before.
To put in under the road base, or before they put the tar on?
Before they put the tar on, I'm imagining, yeah.
I wonder, is it a rebar thing, a strengthening agent through the tar as it sets?
Yeah. Thank you, Cora Works. You subscribed to my channel. Thank you.
You've got a channel?
Yeah. Not much is there. I got to do more content, just like you.
Apparently, shorts is the way to go.
Shorts is the goods. Yeah.
You just got to have stuff to film. Unfortunately, most of the stuff that I find humorous in the middle of the night when I'm a little bit, you know, a few drinks under the weather, 2 sheets to the wind, or whatever the saying is probably not appropriate for YouTube shorts.
But you know, in the app, you can edit. You can take a cutting of someone's comment and then put audio on top of it. You can remix in the app to make shorts.
Maybe what I've got to start doing is because I'll have something will happen, and then I'll have like a little mad rant to myself for about a minute.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just be doing these rant videos about like 37 seconds of just rambling on at the screen about something that matters to nobody else except myself.
Old man yells at cloud.
Yeah. You're in the wrong shape. I don't like you. Please don't come back here again. I might. I'll take some notes and flesh that idea out a little bit.
The more extreme accent you can be, the better they will do. Yeah, cheers, Coro. For sure, buddy.
Yeah, is that what he means? He means I should accentuate the Australian accent instead of talking in my affected pretend Australian accent.
Pretender. It's universal English, Blacky. It's not
exactly.
Australian.
That's what I speak.
Yeah. When I go to Bali, people always ask me, "Are you from Canada? Are you from America? Are you from Australia? Are you from New Zealand? Are you from South Africa? Where are you from?" And I'm like, yeah, I'm an Australian. But So I've come to terms with it. I don't think universal English has an accent.
I had a friend come and visit a few weeks ago, and she had a friend with her, and I asked the girl if she was South African.
Yeah.
And she's born and raised in Brisbane. And I was thinking there's vestiges of a South African accent there. And she said, well, my parents are English and moved to Brisbane when I was very young. And it's like, that still doesn't make sense as to how I got to
Afrikaans.
Got to a South African accent.
Yeah.
Which I must say is one of my favorite accents on the planet.
Well,
especially when women talk it. It's like German, you know, when a woman talks German, and when an Afrikaan woman talks, it's an awesome language. But sometimes when a dude talks it, it can get a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
Like there was this dude back in the early 1940s, and he used to go on film a bit doing speeches and stuff, and his voice got a little bit annoying after 10 minutes or so. But then, like that doctor in the Indiana Jones movie, when she spoke German, whoa, it was fantastic. That was a long way to go for that joke and no reaction.
Sorry, man.
I'm working on this version of comedy where the punchline makes the audience stay quiet.
Oh,
But
they're thinking about it. That's like this the joke that takes a while to coagulate before it produces laughter. That's a more powerful joke. Netherlands accent, yeah.
I wonder can I get suggestions from the chat? There's still 21 people here apparently. I might be one of those though. I am. So let's say there's 20 people here. What words do you think I could say more Australian than I already do? This might be a complicated challenge for people though, isn't it?
Just watch Kath and Kim. Australian rather than Australian.
Anything with an IAN in it, you've got to pronounce as an IUN.
Yun. Yep. That'll do it.
Huawei AAA is the captain of the Lunatics. We've established this. No one stood up to challenge his position. Fish and chips.
Fish and chips. Bloody Bonza Beauty Cobber. However,
I might still have a little bit too much R on the end of my however instead of just finishing it with an A though. However, no, I've got plenty of A on the end of it. That might have been forced though, not natural.
Cody Donovan, knickers. I heard a funny joke on a little short on YouTube the other day, where it was like this stand-up comedian thing where they just got to rattle off one joke before they went to the next person, and the guy said, young bloke, black American, said, "What does cocaine and your knickers have in common?" "I'd like to sniff them." Fucking hell.
Can we just make sure that the YouTube robot that's taking the transcript of this live stream, that he said knickers, not the N-word?
Yeah. Ooh. Didn't think of that.
There was a really good Wheel of Fortune one with a similar sort of situation in it. I can't remember what the word was though, so I'm going to cease this joke now. Getting on the piss with me mates. Did I sound like an Australian when I said that?
Getting on the piss with me mates.
I think Corey says the Irish say however, but that's probably more likely the Scots because they're going however you can do that.
Yeah. I gotta grab another can. I'll be back.
All right, 888 will be here. Wagga wagga. Wagga wagga. Wagga wagga. No, it's wagga wagga. That's not a knife. This has turned out to be quite a silly game because now everything that pops up, I'm really trying to say as Australian as possible. I was kind of hoping that people would point out things that I think there's a Y in there after the N, Huawei, to say that right. Yeah, like if there's things that I say that don't sound quite Australian. Oh, that's a pretty good Australian one there, Coro. For a non-Australian. I'm assuming you're American. Didn't you say you were cold as well before or something? Where are you, Coro? Let us know. Everyone must know your address now. Damn it, why did he finish his drinks at the same time as me? Fair suck of the sauce bottle. Fair suck of the sav. What's the West Australian version of that one, GRB? Is it the sauce bottle for you guys? Yeah, a Triple A's New South like me, so we're a fair suck of the sav. Oregon. So you wouldn't even know what a sav is. No wonder they've dumbed it down to sauce bottle. Because at least you know what a sauce bottle is. What? Oh, without Googling it, Coro, do you know what a sav is? I'd be impressed if you did and you didn't Google it. But if you get it right first go, I'm instantly going to suspect that you Googled it. I wonder, actually, I'm going to try and Google sav as well and see if it actually tells me what it is. Damn it. Bloody first result. Exactly what it is. Yeah, it's wrong. A sav is a saveloy, which is a type of like a bologna, whatever you call it, type sausage. A saveloy, sometimes called little boys because they're shaped like small penises. Yeah, clearly AAA and kudos. I'm gonna actually send out Coro a free bucket of kudos in the post for not Googling sav and having a proper crack. So bucket of kudos in the post for Coro. Horsecock. Yeah, I've heard that one as well, but that's the bigger one. The bigger knob is called a horsecock. But yeah, it's also funny that they call those large chunks of meats knobs when they look a little bit phallic. That's them. So yeah, fair suck of the sav, which I'm assuming if you go back etymologically, not insect related, but etymologically, word related, fair suck of the sav probably does have some kind of relationship, considering a sav is that kind of shape. And
fair suck of the sav comes from Savoy.
Yeah, that's we've gone through all this while you've been away.
Yeah, sorry.
Coro just earned himself a bucket of kudos for not Googling what a sav was, because he said, I'm sorry if I'm assuming gender, Coro. I don't know. It's not a gender specific name. Fair suck of the sauce bottle. Pointless telling this story if he's going to go away, isn't it? Exactly, Coro. That's why I specified. Not insects. Etymology. I'm not missing this opportunity. I should have stood up as soon as he got back. A red skin on a saveloy, yeah. That's the second one for today, Huawei. We'll have to start finding different reasons to give them away each show.
Look at all that bourbon. He's a prepper. He's got bottles for days.
Most of them are empty.
Empties in the fridge. What the hell?
You see my yellow bin?
Yeah.
That's a little bit full.
Oh. That's a lot of whiskey, brother. What's going on?
That's like a couple of weeks worth.
Mm,
Maybe more, maybe less.
okay. Okay.
Who might be judge?
Whoa.
Yeah, I do tend to. I'll save up, a few empty ones, and then when I've got space in my recycling bin, I'll get an extra pour out of each empty bottle, and
Yep.
I'll after half a dozen, 6, 7, 8 bottles, I might have half a nip in the bottom of my cup
Yep.
or glass.
Yep.
But yeah, at the moment I can't engage in that process because my recycling bin is overflowing, and there is actually glass at the top of it as well. So I'm almost dreading the walk down the driveway tonight with the recycling bin and breaking more glass.
Yeah, you're on that towny side of things where you get weekday pickups.
Do you not get your bins picked up? Do you have to take all your rubbish?
No, Garby, red bin once a fortnight, yellow bin once a fortnight.
I got messed up by the council website 2 weeks ago too, because I'd been cleaning up a bunch of my stuff, and my sister had been cleaning up a bunch of mum and dad's stuff inside, and we'd filled up the red bin in like one day from almost empty to full in the space of 12 hours. And it was after around the Christmas period, and they do all 3 bins each week for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was thinking I think we're back to just the green and one of the other ones this week. So I went on the council website to see which bin goes out this week. They said the yellow bin, which is the recycling bin for those playing at home. And it wasn't. It was, in fact, the red bin, which mine was chockers and not taken down to the street because the council website told me not.
Oh.
So that was a little bit annoying. But yeah, I've put a whole bunch of boxes and other shit in there. I've been cleaning out in here a fair bit over the last 2 weeks, so now my recycling's full. And I'll have to be a cautious lad when I'm doing the stroll down the driveway tonight. I have a long driveway. It takes a long time to walk a full bin down there.
I just had a butterfly headbutt the window.
Did it make an audible noise, or was it the visual that caught your attention?
A solid thunk. Man, poor butterfly. So with the bins, sorry?
I was going to say, do you know what sort of butterfly it was?
It was a monarch.
I had a blue admiral here this morning. I hadn't seen them for a while.
Blue admiral. Maybe it was a blue one.
Yeah, they have a similar pattern to a monarch, but they're blue instead of orange. Monarchs are orange.
Yeah, okay. It was a blue admiral. Yeah, gotcha.
I wonder, was it the same one that was here this morning and he's been wafted on the breeze?
Flying around zanily all over the place. Oh, well. Yeah, with the bins, I got a message from my neighbor last week, a week ago, and she said, oh, which bin is it? Because at Christmas time, they took both bins. And we were like, oh, I think it's a recycling bin. So, yeah. And she said, oh, you're a good neighbor. Bless her soul. She's doing it well in her 80s.
Did you tell her the right one, though, or did you stuff up?
No, I told her the right one.
Lucky.
Yeah.
I felt foolish for not just putting all 3 out. Instead of going and looking on the website, I should have just put all 3 out, thinking that they'd empty all 3 still.
Yeah.
Because it was the following week. And I didn't know if this was the cutoff week or whether it was next week that we were back to ones. Hindsight. Good old 2020 hindsight.
Hindsight is one thing. Prescience is another. Explore it. Everyone's got the capability for it.
For which?
Prescience.
What do you define that as?
the ability to perceive events before they have occurred.
Yeah, I think you did just say, yeah, that we've all got it. I think we all do have it. We just don't know how to process it properly.
That's right. We haven't been trained. Our education systems have failed us. And it is a scourge because people get affected by it and there's no learning or teaching about it, and end up with people being labeled as mentally ill because they're afflicted by something that's just a talent, a blessed talent.
And undescribed by science properly yet.
That's right.
But there'll be a science behind it. It won't just be mysticism.
Exactly. Everyone will come to know the truth eventually.
Doctor Who's sonic screwdriver works through science and not through mysticism, so we can expect that a lot of other fantastical things will easily be described by science in the future. Haha, Coro. That's a brilliant callback, Coro. I'm sending Coro an extra bucket of kudos in the post for that fantastic callback. When the polls reverse, the trash companies switch days. And that's when the polls reverse, that's the absolute worst that happens. The rubbish is collected on the alternate day. Nothing to do with our atmosphere being destroyed. Come on, Coro, you take the credit. You take the credit when it's offered.
Where are you, Coro?
Oregon.
Oregon.
One letter short of a herb. No, that's not right, is it? Oregano. Not oregano. Oregano, I should say. Yeah, man. First time in. He didn't correct me on the pronoun thing before, so I'm assuming he still. But yeah, first time in, doing bloody sensible information, callbacks. I hope you're coming back next week.
Excellent engagement, Coro. Thank you.
And I don't think I've ever given out 3 buckets of kudos in one live stream. This is unprecedented.
Things are kicking off.
Science in action.
Filling my tank up. Gotta get that beast.
Oh, I have. And would we consider that speaking of filling your tank up, has our fuel price gone down? Like, are we at a reasonable price for fuel at the moment?
I'm not too sure.
How's it going in America? Because, like, what was it? 3 months ago, maybe, the world was kicking up a stink about how expensive fuel was getting and whatnot.
The milkman. The lights. Pink. Yeah.
Is it flavored? Or is it just
strawberries?
Strawberry flavored.
Mm.
Can you imagine going back to the 1960s or 50s when people were smoking ciggies and telling them that one day you'll be able to smoke that tastes like watermelon or peaches or underpants? You would have been lynched on the spot. Coro Dolan. Oh, okay. but no one could say it. So Coro's original YouTube name was Coro Dullen Works, which sounds like a drunk person saying Coro doesn't work. And clearly it didn't, because you've had to change it to Coro Works. And now all of a sudden I'm paranoid if I'm actually saying it right.
Yeah, Milkman Coro. I think I got that from Victory Vape in Dalesford from America. Where is it? Distributed by Drip Club, Los Angeles, California. Yeah, I like my American flavors. They're good.
Two Dougs is questioning my underpants flavored vape. Oh, it's got to be out there, surely.
No.
Come on.
That's some disgusting rubbish, Blacky.
It's got to be someone's cup of tea. Probably not enough to justify an entire factory to creating the taste, though.
Yeah. It's all about flavors. I got a good one from the Ozarks in America that's steeped in oak barrels.
Well, they do have a barrel surplus over there, apparently.
Yeah. So there's this vape juice that's custard, and they put it in the barrel, and it tastes fucking delicious. But I don't know if they're still going, because it's the kind of thing that you save for a good occasion. You don't use it all the time because it's very oaky and tastes delicious. But yeah, I hope they're still in business, because that stuff was the goods. Thank you, Ozarks.
Oh, I know that. See you, Sky Dancer. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. Hope we didn't keep you up too late, but I always appreciate you hanging out. Take care and all that. I'm familiar with David Eddings. I'm not sure if I've read his work, but I know my brother read a lot of his David Eddings stuff. Was he the magician writer, or the Five Magics, something like that? Or am I mixing up my fantasy authors? I can certainly remember my brother banging on when we were youngsters about this awesome author, David Eddings.
Not familiar with these works. David Eddings. What books did he do?
That was pretty much my question as well. Hang on, I'll Google him.
All right.
David Eddings books. Probably don't need to put books in, but it was just funny to say more words while I was Googling. Porn of Prophecy. I remember that being talked to about that book. Stacks of books. He certainly earned his keep before he shifted off this mortal coil. Crikey. Porn of Prophecy might be the main one that I remember the name of, but I haven't read it. Not a great reader. Wow. Dude made some books. Seriously made a load of books. In that one series alone. Yeah, right.
I'll have to have a look. No, I
I think
don't
it
think
was,
I've read any of the stuff.
I think he was another one of those things that because of how heavily my brother hyped it to me, I was reluctant to take it up because I always hated it when people pushed too heavily and said, "Oh, you've got to see this show or you've got to read this book." G'day, Adele, how you going? So yeah, I think it was one of those things. And there was many different authors as well that my brother was always like, "Matt, I'm mad into this. You should read it. It's fantastic." And because it
Yeah.
was so hyped up, it was like, "Oh, if I read it, I'm going to be disappointed," or something like that.
Adele, you might have to be a part of Replay Team 6 and check out the earlier jewelry that I showed. If you're into curiosities, I got some nice angel wings that just dropped.
Nice. I'm going to have to go and wrestle a crocodile and then respond to my ding dong and move my
All right.
dad into a different spot. I'll be back.
Good night, Cat. No problem. All right, I'm engaging with the chat.
See you, Cat. I nearly walked away without saying night to Cat. It's good to have you along as usual, Cat. Fantastic stuff. We'll see you next week.
They're reasonably good books, but they definitely have flaws and lack in certain respects. Yeah, so that's here we get to some business. So a lot of people think that torture is okay. No one thinks torture is okay. But reading some of these heavy books that are all about word count, it's ridiculous. When you can go to Wikipedia and read a synopsis of the plot and go, I've got the distilled whiskey shot of the story, and go, bam, I've got the message. That's learning. It's empowering, really, to not have to sift through all the verbage. Verbage is basically verbal garbage that people were expected to produce in order to legitimize themselves in the past. I don't see that carrying on into the future. Well, I hope not, anyway. Verbage is the past. Bye-bye. Yes. I've been left unsupervised. I'm on my own. JRB, I used to write Dungeons and Dragons quests in the 1970s that were hundreds of pages long. Could have made them into books if I had the talent. Fuck yeah. If you still got that material, man, that's gold. Because the inspirations that you had when you made it aren't available now, potentially. So treasure that stuff. Digitize it. Send me a file. I'd love it. Yeah. Moonwalking Blacky. He did do the moonwalk. Dragonlance novels. Ah, right. So people's games became the source material for stories. That's great. I've always thought that certain gaming exploits should be turned into films, as Blacky would say. Oh, ice cream and Zuper Dupers. We get Zupa Dubers in Australia. Those things were good fun when I was young. Didn't do them now. Just chuck some blueberries in the freezer and blend them up with a banana and some coconut water, and off I go into smoothie yum yums. Oh, you're in Brisbane. Sorry, collaboration of curiosities. You're in Brizzy. Sweet. You're very close. Whereabouts in Brisbane are you? Okay, true. I think we've done a stream together, possibly. That's cool. We've got a shop in Brisbane that we sell to called, what is it? Underworld Realm, right in Brisbane City. Crickets. Oh. Okay, guys. Underworld Realm, yes. Hey, have you bought my? Go and check out Stacey's shop. It's awesome. It's still going. She's over in Europe at the moment. I'm not sure if shop's open. Yeah. Underworld Realm is open for business, and you can ask her staff, and they will direct you to our jewelry cabinet. Underworld Realm is still in the same spot it's always been. 91 Elizabeth Street. Up the stairs, yeah. Pretty much central CBD Brisbane. Yeah. Good times when I get up there. I like to go to the Japanese room close by and eat lots of sushi. Yeah, it's amazing how Stacey has kept the cabinet going, and the whole goth scene. Like, it seems weird, but like goths in Brisbane, it's a bit hot for that clothing, but it survives and keeps on going. Oh yes, Huawei with the link. Underworld Realm Facebook page. Nice one, man. Thank you. You can check out all our stuff. Come for a holiday, visit Brisbane, and go to Underworld Realm. You will see a treasure trove of goth culture going back to the 90s. There's lots of very interesting things there. She's still got some Invader Zim figurines in boxes still. Hot ticket items. I'm sure if someone wanted to do a mission, they could fly over, pick them up, and eBay them and make a pretty buck. Yeah, okay. She will post them to you, apparently.
Yeah, you're going to fly over.
We want people to visit, Emma.
Yeah, it's expensive. Sorry.
apps get involved.
Well, you're talking about things that involve you.
Yeah. Yeah. Stacey's a machine. She keeps it running.
She's an amazing curator.
I've been to her house a few times, and she's got even more stuff that's not on the shelves, which makes it even more curious. Because, yeah, as fellow collectors of fine items and rare things, you never know what you're going to find. Corey, thanks for your time being here, man. Yep, my fish will live on and prosper. Live long and prosper. Oh, we got some movement on Blacky's camera. What's going on? Huawei, blessed be my brother.
Did you just say blessed be to Huawei?
Yeah, I would like to thank the mods that came before me and taught me all that I know. I like to thank my father for believing in me and telling me I can be anything I wanted to be. You're a mod.
I was absent for Corey going.
Yeah.
Hooroo, Corey. Hope you come back. You were good fun to have. Don't be a stranger. We will probably, like, I'm going to sit here and smoke a cigarette before I have to go and complete my journeys, but at some stage through the cigarette, we'll probably finish this stream.
Awesome.
Because it is the
quality time.
Awesome, he says. Awesome, we're finally finishing.
When anything's completed, it is awesome for Josh because I have a terrible habit of starting things and not finishing them. It's my crossfader brain just wants to do multiple things simultaneously, and yeah, getting things done is hard for me.
I can identify with that quite well. Only the things that I'm forced to have to complete, I successfully complete. Or coerced. Coerced? Forced. Probably forced. Have to. Adele. Sam, deflate your head a little. You won't make it through the doorway.
We're getting linked in. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Shopping, well, Collaboration of Curiosities knows the shop that we sell to, but hasn't been there in 10 years. And I'm like, it's still there. Go visit it and buy something because it's awesome. We're doing ads without being to advertisements because it's actually quite cool. They do collectibles, so anything goth related, they've got it. Or weird stuff like, remember Invader Zim, Blacky?
Say again.
Remember Invader Zim?
I know the name, but I don't know what it was. It was a computer game or a book or something.
It was a cartoon.
Or a cartoon. Yeah, right. Can't say I saw it.
It's mandatory watching, seriously. It is hilarious. And
What is
you
it
and
about?
Scungy would really kick off on it because it's got a great art style and it's all about an alien that lives next door to Dib, and Dib's father's like the head honcho at the Earth Defense Corporation or whatever. And Dib's trying to tell his dad that there's an alien next door, and Dib's dad does not believe him because Invader Zim has disguises, and it's hilarious.
It's not that claymation one where the main character looked like a vagina, is it?
No.
What's that one
It's
that I'm
not
thinking
Blacky.
of?
Always down to the private parts with you, Blacky. What's going on?
Oh, someone please has to remind me what that cartoon was, animation was called. Adele will probably know. She's dirty and filthy and knows rude stuff. Yeah, but what's the one I'm thinking of? Claymation, main character's a vagina looking creature. And even as a teenage boy, I could identify that and say, yeah, I know what that is. I know what you're trying to do here.
Don't you open that trapdoor?
Oh, no. I think it might have come out of the same. Was it the trapdoor? Oh. It was definitely the same era and the same sort of stuff. But I have a strange feeling that Trapdoor was a British production, and I have a strange feeling that the one I'm thinking of is an Australian one.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Seriously, Blacky, Invader Zim, you and Sarah, search Invader Zim, find it and watch it. It is the gold standard of alternate animation comedy. And it's got just enough darkness that it'll hook you in. You'll love the dystopianism in it. It'll really.
Is it available freely on YouTube nowadays, or is it like?
I've got no idea where you'll find it, but it's Nickelodeon production, so yeah, I don't know who's picked them up.
Give it a goog.
Google it.
Invader Zim. I should complete that Google search so I don't have to do so much reading. Streaming Australia. Paramount Plus. Damn it, I don't have that one right now. But I could probably cancel my AMC Plus because I've watched what I wanted to watch on there. Go and spend that $7 on Paramount Plus instead, or whatever it costs. Plasmo, I think was the name of that was the name of the character that looked like a vagina. I'd shudder to imagine what your Google terms were to find that out, Huawei. Plasticine shaped like a vagina. I'm sure it just wasn't called Plasmo, though. There you go. Plasmo, it was called. If you want to see some amazing Australian claymation animation, and you like the appearance of appearance? Did I just say appearance?
Oh wow, Plasmo.
Yeah, you remember Plasmo. You just weren't thinking about vaginas when you saw it. And yeah, and when the vagina character actually spoke, it was like it was.
My name is Brucho, and this is Corazon.
Hello, Brucho.
Hello, corridor.
Hello, Plasmo. Hello, Plastic.
Corridor. It's even called corridor. Oh.
There was no way that half the kids that were watching that show back in the, I don't know when it was, early 90s, late 80s, half the kids watching it were going, oh, 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 every time it went.
Queef, queef, queef. Oh, hilarious.
And thank you, Huawei, for finding that.
Yeah, good work, Huawei.
That would have stumped me for ages trying to remember that one.
What's NSA stand for?
National Secrecy Agency, or isn't it that secret American, like the CIA, but even more secret? National Secrets Association. I bet it's not called secrets, though. Security.
National Agency. Okay.
Yeah, apparently they're the ones that deal with all the hacking and computer fraud and magic that happens online.
Okay.
They should probably be called the National Secrecy Agency, because I think most of the shit that they do is attempted to be kept under wraps.
Yeah, Gumby. I remember Gumby and his Pokey Pal pony too. If you've got a heart, then Gumby's something of you. Gumby. Oh, yeah. We're all getting monitored by the NSA. Gotcha. They've got a big fat file on me, I'm sure. That'd be hilarious to get access to what they talk about.
Sometimes I just type ridiculous things into my search bar just to try and get noticed.
Bit of attention goes a long way. All right, man. I might call it quits.
Me too. I'm getting the ding dongs more regularly now, so yeah, I'll just click send on that message and start doing farewells, so I can go and start making dinner and get people off toilets and whatnot, move people around. It's logistics, man. Most of this job is logistics. Yeah, thanks for reminding me, Adele. It's not like it's firmly imprinted on my brain print by now. But anyway, we push through. I certainly appreciate everyone hanging out. Huawei, GRB, best mods in the game. I still haven't forgotten your guitar pedals, GRB. I just got to wait for more money in the bank before I can send them to you. I know it only started at 1, but you're probably going to be pleasantly surprised when they turn up on your doorstep and are forced to make a YouTube video about them. But yeah, everyone who's hung out, especially you bloody lunatics that have hung out the whole entire time from the start to the finish. We've done 3.5 hours. I haven't done a stream this long for quite a while, I think. I think we've been normally quite sane and reserved with the time that these take. Welcome to the newbies. I'm super glad me and Z-Beam together were able to pluck your cherry this day. If you're still here, even. I know that's right. None of the newbies are here anymore anyway, are they?
Oh, they're all
But, you
gone.
know, everyone knows that your cherry has been plucked. So I thank you for your time watching us yammer on about nonsense and whatnot. That's what we're here for. No one. Oh, g'day, Travis. Travis pipes in right at the end to say hi and enjoyed the stream. It was nice to have you here, Travis, for the final minute, unless you've been here and just not even opened your typing. Get on Replay Team 6. And also, thank you, Replay Team 6, for those who have made it this far. You guys are legends. You know who you are. And we'll have another, as long as next week doesn't go like today, we'll have another go at this again in 7 days' time, or 6 days and 26 days, 19 and a half
Tune in.
hours time. We'll try it again. Let's do it. Let's have some fun. Righto. Thanks, everyone.
See ya.
Love you. Awesome time. We'll see you when
Bye.
we're looking at you.